Hello everybody, Flamin' Shark back with another video. We're going to be jumping into episode 2 of Chaos Head Noah. So yeah, I've been really busy these past few days. As you guys will have noticed, the videos are coming out at night, basically, instead of during the day because, you know, gotta get them out. I'm not missing a day, and we're almost at the end of the month. I'm kind of just, I'm kind of at the mode where, I should have some time to record and relax and chill, but I was just kind of busy the past few days, and I just was getting out whatever I could, whenever I could. No, I don't even know what that was. That was not the intro. I'm kind of curious to play that. I'll have to remember that that's a thing at the end and see what that is, because, yeah, it just started. Yeah, so let me actually press a button here. That was actually really interesting. But yeah, we got Chaos Head Noah here. I'm really excited to continue this. I'm not in the mood. Like I said, I'm an absolute mess, and I'm not really in the mood to be on camera. And basically, that made my options Chaos Head Noah and Persona. And Persona was literally the video yesterday. And while I would have been down to play that, I felt like that would be a little much to do the same series 2 days in a row, so by default, we're doing Chaos Head. So, yeah, you guys are gonna get another episode. Like I said, this series has still not officially started, but, hey, you're getting content from it, so that's kind of cute. But yeah, no, the month's almost over, so I'm just gonna, that'll be cool. I'll be able to reset, actually miss a day if I want or need to or what have you, and, move on from there. But yeah, we're definitely gonna start grinding some other stuff like this. Oh yeah, there are quick saves. I forgot about that. Interesting. So load, these are the proper saves. Did I not have way more? I thought I had more saves than that. I must have. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Okay, this is definitely where we left off, though, because we had our crazy interaction with the pink-haired girl that, obviously, in the last... I didn't even talk about what happened in the first episode, but obviously, if you haven't seen it, go and watch the first episode of Chaos Head that I've already posted. But basically, we're a delusional weeb. A little worse than that, I would say. There's definitely, like, a bit of an incel, I would say. I don't think he's, like, too bad-intentioned, but there's definitely, like, certain moments where he says something that's just insane. But basically, we're playing Takumi, and the big thing that happened was, we learned a bit about his delusions, but we also, this Shogun individual on our video game messaged us, and I'm assuming that's where this is going to go, is we're going to get another message from Shogun. But basically, we were doing our daily life, and we ran into a crazy murder that involved a bunch of stakes, like cross-shaped stakes. And he ended up running away, and the girl was like was really happy to see us, and was even calling us Taku-kun, I believe. And it was kind of one of those things. He ran away and was like, oh, that was so vivid, so real, but it had to be a delusion. But he actually still had one of the stakes because he had picked up one of the crosses. And then we had the weird, the girl singing at the end of the episode. Her name was 3 initials, and I'm just looking at my notes here and see if I wrote down her name or not. I did not, because it was just 3 initials. I'm assuming, thinking about it a bit, because I've had a little time to think about it, I'm wondering if that's supposed to be like a deal where it's like her stage name, maybe, if she's like a singer. Because they were kind of like, the way they were talking, I don't know about the whole concealing her presence thing. That felt a little like supernatural-ish, but it did, the way they were talking about her, it definitely gave off the energy, the vibes of like, oh, she's like either a idol or otherwise like performance artist, like singer of some kind. So that's probably what we're getting. But anyways, yeah, bro ran home and basically had a delusion in which Sarah, the little girl there on the left, the anime character from Bloodtoon, Basically convinced him to be a full-blown shut-in forever. Anyways, about a day had passed, and I'd spent pretty much every hour of it in Baselard. I'd hardly even made time to eat. I'd immersed myself fully into the role of Neidhardt, and in the process completely erased every trace of Nishijo Takumi. In ESO, I was an absolute god. No demon could ever strike fear into my heart, and I was respected by everyone. If only I could live in such a comfortable world for all eternity. I was certain I'd be far happier that way. That talks about, like, it's really interesting because there's themes of, like, escapism, right? Because he, like, plays the MMORPG that he's the best at, and he imagines what life would be like in that world. And he has all these delusions, which are also another form of escapism. And reality is going to smack him in the face. But where it gets really interesting is because he's so deep into his delusions, this entire game, we have no idea what's actually real and what's not. So at any point, and I feel like I keep running into series like this, especially in the games that I play, but there's like a lack of reliability in the narration, right? Like, because his perception is so skewed, we don't know for sure if everything's real or not with what he goes through. And, you know, like, obviously there's like things that they're obviously going into some delusion, like, road or whatever, so they've talked about that, but in the grand scheme of things, we don't know where this is going. And so much so that we can't even trust what we see, even if I don't want to go too deep down that rabbit rabbit hole, because it will drive me crazy, as it has in other series. Yeah, anyways. Yep, there. Jesus Christ. Alright. Bro found a legendary drop. So obviously, for the win. FTW is for the win. Let me get my mouse off the screen completely. There we go. Yeah. There was really very little to talk about there. Huh? Someone's knocking on your... Yeah, that's in real life. Shut up and kill yourselves, losers, and then he does his foo hee hee hee. That's crazy. Chill out. I love that. SW, Grim, and Sister Centipede all just saying to chill out. And I love how they all did it in different ways. SW put a comma, Grim just wrote out the words, and Sister Centipede had proper grammar and punctuation. Because different people, like, online will, to varying degrees, like, talk in those different ways, so it's actually kind of cool to represent that. Oni? Oni? Oh, no. This is the sister that we've heard about. He mentioned her when he went to school the first time. Finally, another legendary item to add to my collection. Naturally, I was stoked. My depression from earlier had been completely blown away. Oni tte ba? You hear me in there? The angelic circlet had a drop rate of 0.0001%. It was so rare, some players thought it was unobtainable. Oi! Akero! Look at how little, like, HP and MP he lost. Like, he's almost full from whatever fight he had. Well, its stats were shit, so it was pretty much just a cosmetic item, but that was good enough. People could tell you had an angelic circlet just by looking at you, which was enough to make anyone green with envy. Wow. Dude, your sis is going to, like, bang your freaking, what the fuck, I forgot what they're called, storage, no, it's not storage, it's a shipping crate. She's gonna, like, break your shipping crate down at this rate. Shut up. Who the hell's been banging on my door for so goddamn long? Just when I'd finally managed to get a hold of a rare item, this happened. couldn't a man enjoy his victories for 1 second?
Baka Oni!
Yeah, you deserve that, Baka Oni. Yeah, he just realized that voice. The moment I realized who it was, my mood instantly took a nosedive. There was no mistaking it. That was the voice of an assassin sent by my parents. My little sister Nanami. Okay. Interesting. Nanami, huh? I like that name. That's come up before.
開けないとひどいんだからね。
Yes. She seems like she's really sweet. Probably a little tsundere energy, but I feel like I'm gonna like her. Just because I think she's gonna try and, like, help, in an extent, help her brother, which is why her brother hates her. Well, shit. Here came the storm to rain on my parade. I really didn't want to let her in, but if I didn't, my parents would probably get on my case about it. Stop living alone and move back in with us, they'd say. I'd ignore them if I could, but my dad basically owned this building, so it'd take just a snap of his fingers for him to kick me out. Ugh, this was the worst.
Oni!
That's probably why it was easy for him to rent this from his dad, because he was renting it from his dad. I'm sure a lot of other people would have questions. Both about where his money was potentially, like, his source of income, which is, to be fair, very odd, and everything. Shut the fuck up! Which is a spoiler for our next tip. Net slang, short for shut the fuck up, used when someone is being extremely annoying. I swear, her voice was so shrill it could shatter glass. It's pretty shrill, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, let's meet this sister. I'm curious to see her. The banging just didn't stop, and since the metal walls were pretty thin, the sound echoed loudly all throughout the container. Nanami was well aware of that. In fact, that was exactly why she was doing it, of course. In the end, I had no choice. I reluctantly removed the padlock and opened the door. Let's see her. Oh.
あ、やっと出てきた。
They're doing a dramatic reveal. We only get to see her bottom half. And the pan up, yep.
生存確認。
Routine survival check is great, and she's like so happy. Aw, she seems nice. I wouldn't be surprised if she has a hidden dark side, because this game is, like, we have our, you know, our new gen... Oh, music kicked in all of a sudden. Like, we have our new gen serial killer, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of other, like, hidden... Because, like, our protagonist has a dark side. So I wouldn't be surprised, and, like, our quote-unquote friend, the pretty boy, like, he's kind of not a good person, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's literally no good people in this story. Which I'm down for. I love stories with, awful people. This baby-faced runt was my little sister. She was a year younger than me.
呼んでるんだから返事くらいしてよね。お兄死んじゃったかもって思ったじゃん。
Yeah, honestly. Of course, the first thing out of her mouth was bitching, and to make things worse, she was standing there with her hands on her hips like the bratty little shit she was. The spitting image of irritating. I love that so much, right? Because, like, from Takumi's perspective, Nanami's the worst. And, like, she's, you know, nagging him and all this stuff that he just doesn't want to deal with because he doesn't want to deal with human interaction really at all. But from the perspective of just a player, right? Like the average potato playing this game, she seems like she just cares about her brother, right? And I love the dichotomy that you can do with this character. This is like one of the, like already, like stuff like this is why I really like having a protagonist that is like Takumi. Her existence brought me nothing but suffering.
うわ、相変わらず部屋の中汚。ちょっとは片付けなよ。
It has been a little bit of a whiplash though, comparing the protagonist of ChäoS Head with Steins Gate, and I'm actually really happy that, like, obviously the kind of the thread is kind of a degree of, like, is like the Chunibyo kind of aspect is kind of like the common thread here, but for the most part, like, he's so different from our Steins Gate protagonist, and I really like that. It is a big sty, like, you can't deny that. You've even thought about that yourself. Nanami just waltzed right in without even asking. What the hell did she think she was doing? Yeah, she looks cool. Dude, the eyes are so big, though. Holy shit. Even by anime standards, that's crazy. What, did she think she could get away with whatever she wanted just because she was my little sister? And to think there were people out there who seriously believed that little sisters were moe. I do want to just real quick, actually, just to be sure, I want to check my noise settings. I want to say this is what I landed on. Yeah, because the BGM's pretty low. It actually is coming out pretty loud for me, but that's fine. I always wanted to tell those guys how much of an epic fail that was. Well, it's kind of like the thing where it's like, there's a lot of people, like the people, you know, like there's the old saying that most of the people that are into familial relations as a fetish are people that like don't, like are into like, say like, you know, sisters, don't have a sister, right? So it's like that commonality of like, the taboo is interesting to most of those people from because they can't fully relate to it, right? And like I think that that's like pretty it's kind of one of those things where it's like a lot of people that don't have siblings, you know, wish they would have them, or some of them love being like an only child, and then you have other people who have siblings who are like somewhat jokingly are like, oh, it's the worst, right? Like they obviously love their brother or their sister or what have you, hopefully, but you know, like it's the give and take of that type of stuff. Well, even though she was my sister, she certainly didn't look unsavory. She had a lolly body type. Oh my god. So I could see why that might make her pretty damn popular in some circles. I don't know, I think she looks pretty normal, to be honest. Like, yeah, she doesn't have like giant tits or anything, but she does. I mean, I guess. I don't know, I feel like that's a little bit of a stretch. She just looks, to me, she just looks normal. Like, I mean, by anime, like, she just looks like an anime character. But as her older brother, I didn't care about that. I wasn't into her at all. As far as I was concerned, she was downright repulsive, not to mention immature. I can appreciate that he could, like, recognize that she's, like, pretty, but still be like, I actually hate her and want her to die. He hasn't gone that far. Deep down, I'd like to hope that he doesn't want her to die, but, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he said it, at least in his head. Not to say that I didn't like lollies, of course, just only 2D ones. Foo hee hee. Jesus.
びっくさお兄の部屋って相変わらず不潔掃除しろっていつも言ってるじゃんどうしてしないの
Yes. Yeah, you see, he can't really respond. I love how you can literally tell that says, like, Coca-Cola on the left of Nanami.
まあどうせ掃除してくれる彼女なんかいないだろうしお兄ってズボラだからこうなるのは目に見えてるけどさ
Damn. I don't know if that was a diss or not, but it's funny. Oh, she keeps pissing her off, or she keeps pissing him
やっ
off.
ぱりナナが掃除しに来てあげるしかないかな
だが断る
Okay, you have me really curious, but I refuse. A quotation from a popular manga about bizarre adventures on the internet is used frequently as a cool way to turn someone down. I'm not gonna lie, but I refuse. I'm like trying to think where in JoJo's that happens. Now, to be fair, I've only seen parts 1 through 5. I haven't seen part 6, and I obviously haven't read the manga, so it could be like a part 6, part 7. I feel like it feels like a thing that either Jonathan or Jotaro would say. Sorry, not Jonathan. Joseph or Jotaro. Sorry. Definitely doesn't feel like a Jonathan thing to say at all.
なんでよ
お前に部屋荒らされたくない
I have reactions to JoJo's, by the way, if you want to watch those.
きっとそれがわざわざ生存確認しに来てあげてる妹に言うセリフ
Yes, that is quite literally how he feels about this. Maybe things would change if you showed your older brother a little respect, and why should you be grateful that you're checking on me? I sure as hell didn't ask for that. I kind of agree with the latter to some extent, like I get where he's coming from, but yeah, like if you wanted your little sister to show you respect, you should try acting a bit more respectful, right? Like it's a give and take, but I get that that's not the way Takumi's mind works, but it's interesting nonetheless.
まったく
Jeez
なんで
Louise.
こんな面倒ばっかりかけさせる兄弟と血つながってるんだろう。たまに嫌になっちゃうよ。
You two share that in common, actually. Maybe you could bond over not wanting to be siblings.
なんか喉乾いちゃった。飲み物もらうね。
Nanami walked right past me and over to the mini fridge, once again acting like she owned the place. Oh no.
コーラしかないじゃん。ミルクティーとか用意しといてよ。
Milk tea?
知らんがな。
しょうがないな。じゃあコーラもらうね。
So, I don't know, obviously these delusions will have to do with, like, the different routes. I'm kind of thinking, like, my gut instinct is... Now, again, I'm sure there's, like, more than 3 endings, but I'm kind of thinking, like... Especially because I didn't do the first one, I'm kind of just thinking, what if I just don't do a delusion and just see where that takes me, right? Surprise fucking surprise. She went ahead and did as she pleased. There's a thing called permission, you know? She grabbed a bottle of cola from the fridge, one I had already drank from, no less, and after only a second of hesitation, she cracked it open and gulped it down. Damn. That's kind of badass. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you are siblings, but... Okay, so the delusion's gone. So I don't know, again, like I said, I don't want to, I don't know. Like, yeah, I feel like, it's funny the game, like, literally hasn't told you anything. I find that really funny about this. But my kind of mindset right now is I'm just gonna not use it and see where that takes me. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. She just drunk straight from the bottle. Nasty. She was supposed to be a girl, yet she acted like this. I mean, I guess he's saying because he had already opened it. Because, I mean, if you're drinking from the bottle or the can or whatever, and it's just yours, then, like, that's not gross at all. But I can understand where he's coming from, even though she probably sees it as, you're my brother. I think the bigger reason I wouldn't do that is because look at how your brother lives. What a disgrace. This was exactly why 3D sucked ass. As soon as Nanami left, I was gonna chuck that bottle straight into the trash. Damn, she's down in that shit, though. Wait, what? She just... I mean, dude, Coke is like... As someone who... That's kind of my drink of choice if I'm not drinking water, which is the main thing I drink, obviously. Hopefully that's the same for most of you. But like, yeah, if I want something, you know, a little harder, a little wilder, you know, Coke's usually my drink of choice. And I'm not saying I couldn't down a bottle of Coke, but like, of all the things to down, that's not something I would recommend.
やっぱ運動の後の一杯って格別。学校からここまで走ってきたんだ。
She's right about that.
全部飲んだのか。しかも一気で。
That's impressive. I bought that cola with my own money. Well, yeah, you have... Dude, look at how many freaking bottles of empty soda you have around here. So just because you're my sister, you think you could do whatever the hell you want, huh? I see how it is.
しまった。
Damn, she didn't even realize. Nami looked at the bottle in her hand and turned pale. Oh, good. It looked like she finally realized how rude she was being too. It's gonna go a different direction.
どうしよう。また太っちゃうじゃん。
Aww. That's cute, actually. What? The face!
お兄のせいだからね。
Oh, that's a great face! Oh my god, I love that pose. I love how she's talking about getting fat. Look at her. Like, come on. Yeah, right, girl. It's all your fault, big bro. I really like that face. That looks really nice. I had no idea what she was talking about.
お兄がコーラ好きなせいで、ナナまでコーラ大好きっ子になっちゃったんだから。
Ah, so deep down she wants to drink Coke a lot too.
人のせいにするなよ。
Yeah, I am 100% with Takumi on this one.
だってうちの冷蔵庫に入ってるのいっつもコーラだったじゃん。お母さんがお兄のこと甘やかすからだ。
Aw.
知ってる？コーラってカロリーすっごく高いの。だからお兄もあんまり飲みすぎない方がいいよ。
Honestly, calories are not the biggest issue with Coke. It's like it's you know there's a lot of other things in Coke that are worse for you. Like yeah, the calories are kind of empty, but I would say that the calories are fairly negligible, and that's like the least of your problems if you're drinking soda is the calories. Honestly,
今度からミルクティーにすべき。
I mean that's definitely better for you. Milk tea really isn't any healthier than cola. It's got just about as many calories, and more importantly, who the hell asked? I'm happy with my diet, thanks. See, that's the thing, right? Like, calorie-wise, it probably is similar, but that doesn't mean it's healthier. Like I said, again, like, Coke's calorie count is, like, the least... Like, of all the bad things about drinking soda, calories are, like, at the bottom of the list. As someone that drinks soda. Is that all you came here for? To drink all my cola, then to lecture me to stop drinking cola? That is pretty funny.
もう帰れよ。
It's so funny too, right? Like, I love how he's so aggressive in his mind and like, but how he speaks outwardly is that social anxiety and awkwardness, and even with his sister, because he sees her as something so different than him. You did your whole normie, basically. You did your whole survival check thing, and now your job here is done, right? Why do you feel the need to barge in here every time?
お兄、冷たい。
Seemed like I managed to offend her somehow. She pursed her lips into a pout and glared at me. I was already done with her shit though, so I looked away.
せっかく心配して様子を見に来てあげてるのに。
Aw, there's a little tsundere.
お兄ってずっとここに引きこもって誰とも喋らずに一日を終えちゃうことだってあるんでしょ？
Yeah.
女の子と話す機会だってどうせ全くないんだよね。
Aw, she wants you to get a girl. She wants to be your wing. She wants to be your wing woman, bro. Shut up. Stop making fun of me, you stupid bitch. I'm not into 3D girls, so why would I ever bother talking to them? There is that, though. Like, it's really funny because I do wonder, because, like, obviously this is a visual novel, and, like, you know, at their core, a lot of visual novels have, even the more, like, the ones that are less about this, like, it's pretty clear that this isn't a, like, you know, this isn't like a dating sim or anything. Like, it's pretty clear, right? But there is that component, right? And I fully expect there to be that component of him actually getting closer with the various girls in the game. And so it's interesting that he's like so inherently against the idea of dating anyone that's real, right? So because of that, I'm like really interested to see how his relationships with the various women in this game evolve. I think that's like a really, actually like one of the things I'm really excited about outside of the obvious like mystery and horror elements that are being set up as well.
言ってみればお兄と話す女の子はナナだけってことじゃん。
Probably. I mean, if we don't count Seraton.
だからさ、もっとナナのこと大事にしてよ。そしたら女の子との接し方もちょっとは分かってくるはずだし。
That honestly makes a lot of sense, but to be fair, it's not the same. Your sister and while she was nagging, Nanami picked up one of my figures, Hikarutan, from the Suicide for Hikari. What a name! Hikarutan from the Suicide for Hikari. I'm sure that's a reference to something. But I don't know. Damn it, don't touch my waifus without asking. If you leave even a single fingerprint on her, I will actually beat the shit out of you, except you won't, bro.
あと、お兄は自分のことにもっと気を使って。こんなお人形さんにうつつを抜かしてる場合じゃないよ。
Oh no.
ナナはお兄の死体の第一発見者になんかなりたくないからね。
I don't see how those two things are correlate. I don't see the correlation between him having anime figures and him being dead on the floor one day. That more has to do with the lifestyle thing, which doesn't really have anything to do with the figures. But as someone who owns not like that amount, but hey, you know, I have a pretty solid collection. I think I'm past 20. Like I have a fair few that I've very slowly acquired over the years. Yeah, over the years, yeah, because the first time I got a bunch when I was in Japan, and those were my first figures, and that was 2018. So, okay, it's been about over the course of 6 years. So I guess on average I get like maybe 4 a year. But yeah, it's one of those things where I don't really think. Yeah, nah, bro. It's just cool shit, bro. It's collectibles, bro. It's just like I collect Blu-rays. Same thing. The hell was she trying to imply? Felt like she'd been becoming more and more like mom lately, which meant that she'd gotten even more fucking annoying. Shut the fuck up! It's so funny, the dichotomy, right? Like, in his head, he's saying all this awful shit, but it's not like he actually says this stuff to her. He just, you know, barely says anything. Exactly, right? It's just like, just leave me alone.
そんなに帰れ帰れ言わないでよ。お兄のバカ。
I know that's supposed to be really cute. I don't actually find that shot that cute. That other one where she was kind of looking to the side or whatever, that one was super adorable. This one's fine.
まだこっちには用事が残ってるの。
Okay. Ugh, she was getting more hysterical by the minute. If I made her any angrier, things would get out of hand, so chill out, me.
携帯買いに行こう。
Oh.
Huh?
Interesting. What did she just said?
お父さんがそうしろって。お兄が携帯持てばいつでも生存確認できるじゃん。
Honestly, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like you'd be into that too, because it... Also, I'm starting... Bro, is there gonna be a cell phone mechanic in this game? Because I know, like, I'm pretty sure Steins Gate has one, which would make sense, because, like, you know, again, I'm not gonna get into the plot of Steins Gate, but cell phone's kind of important.
お金はナナが預かってきたから
He even gave me the...
今から買いに行こうよ。今時携帯持ってない人なんていないよ。時代に取り残されちゃうよ。
What is it, 2008? 2007? I mean, I know, like, Noah came after, but as far as OG Chaos had, I think it's 07 or 08. It's funny because it's like, I feel like time period-wise, shut up already, you teenage trend-chasing bitch. I'm not the one who lives under a rock here, you wrong-sider. The internet gives me all the information I need. Now, there's a lot of ironies in here, but obviously he is internet proficient, which, nowadays, is a much larger percentage of the population than it was back then. Well, she was right about one thing. These days, it was normal for a high school student to have a phone, and I didn't have one. Like, there's a lot of utility for it, and that's the thing. They could text you and ask, "Are you okay?" instead of having to go out to the roof of her dad's building to check on you. Of course, that was because I never used it anyways. I didn't have anyone to call or text, and I didn't want to pay for something I wasn't going to use. Now, it makes sense from his perspective, but it makes sense that his parents and his sister would want him to have one.
だから行こう。
Nanami put the figure back on the shelf and turned her attention back to me.
どうせお兄は機種とかわかんないだろうから、ナナと同じ機種にしちゃいなよ。
Fair enough. As she said that, she took her own phone out of her bag and started showing it off like it was some precious heirloom.
ほら、これがナナの。色が可愛いでしょ。
I wouldn't have chose that color myself. I like the little froggy guy, though.
ついでだから、ストラップも同じのあげるよ。
Yeah, I don't know about that part. But it's one of those things where, like, yeah, you could use it to tell the time. Like, there's plenty of utility that even Takumi could use with it.
なんという手抜きキャラ。
The character hanging from the phone strap was far from cute. It looked horrible. There was no way a professional had designed it. I think it's cute. It looked like one of those shit-tier, ugly, cute characters, or like one of those official government mascots. I do enjoy, though, how in the writing they're making fun of their own design. Like, that is pretty funny. I know it's like through Takumi's lens, but it's still funny.
手抜きじゃないもん。ゲロカイルンはこういうデザインなの。今すっごく流行ってるんだからね。
Garo Froggy, because in Japanese the frogs go Garo Garo, which sounds like Garo.
女子高生の流行なんてお兄が知ってるわけないか。
Or ever.
そういうとこを直せば少しは女子と会話成立すると思うよ、きっと。
Well, it's not even that. Like, Takumi's, like, handsome. Like, he's actually good looking. So, like, if his personality wasn't literally the worst, he could absolutely, like, hang out and probably even have girls interested in him. God damn it, just shut the fuck up already, you trend-chasing bitch. The fuck is this Garo Froggy shit? There's no way this thing is popular. Anyone with half a brain cell could tell you that. She didn't realize she was just being played by the media. It was honestly sad. Oh my god, this guy.
っていうか、今はゲロ回路の話じゃなくて。
Yeah, it really isn't.
いいから携帯買いに行こうよ。あ、別にお揃いがいいとか言ってるわけじゃないからね。家族で同じ機種だと基本料金が割引されるサービスがあるからだよ。家族で持ってないのはお兄だけなんだからね。
いらない。
I don't know how much of a choice you have in the matter.
なんで？お金はお父さんが出してくれるんだよ。
必要ない。
It would be a nuisance if anything. If I had a phone, Mom would definitely call every day. Well, Mom actually seems like she worries about you a lot. It seems like your parents are... Like, that's the irony here that I actually really like, again, in the writing, is that it seems like his family's actually really cool. Like, I could definitely see him finding his sister annoying, like, even without, like, it being Takumi specifically. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, his parents seem chill, too. I would love to meet them. I don't know if we ever will. Probably not, but... If I kept ignoring those calls, they'd keep sending Little Miss Assassin Nanami over here to lay on the pressure. My family life would become even more of a living hell, and I'd have to start being way more careful as a result. I couldn't let that happen.
もう信じらんないよ、このバカ鬼。もう帰る。
Yeah, there's no level. I love that face. There's no levels to how much of a jerk he can be.
ああ、そうしてくれ。
I opened the door for her to finally leave, but Nanami didn't budge an inch. She just shot her arms down to her sides, looking even more upset than before.
ほんとバカ、アホバカ鬼。駅まで送ってくれるとかしてよ。
Aww.
嫌だね。
Aww. She'd never acted like this before. Why did she suddenly want me to walk her to the station? What was so special about today? Is it like... I wonder if it's like one of your birthdays or something.
だって最近殺人事件とかでぶっ
Ah,
飛
the
ん
new
だ。
gen stuff.
こういう場合心配するのが兄弟ってもんでしょ。
Yeah, that's actually a reference to new gen, yep. Yesterday's events were resurrected in my mind once again, if only for a second. I frantically shook my head, trying to get that gruesome scene out of my mind, and I just barely managed to.
どうでもいいし。
Either way, it wasn't like the new gen murder was twisted enough to attack some brat like Nanami. Bro, are we... Dude, what are you... I know you're not saying it, but why are you saying this in your head? This is like a massive red flag. Like... I don't like that you've said that. That scares me.
ありえない。
Aww.
ナナが死んでも。
Damn, she's actually crying! Aww. Nanami was tearing up. It seemed like my words had really gotten to her. Serves you right. Maybe you should think twice about disturbing my peace and quiet next time. This is just my own way of taking a little revenge for once. Get fucked. Oh my god, dude. Dude. It's so funny because, like, I've talked about how in some ways he's the anti-Okabe, but he's almost like... In some ways, right? Because I could definitely get the energy. I get the vibe that there was certainly probably some inspiration taken from Shinji Ikari. But, like, I feel like he's almost kind of the opposite in a way. But, like, equally as unlikable. Probably more unlikable, actually. Wow. That's crazy. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if these are crocodile tears to try and bait us. Because I feel like she's the type. And I really don't have much to base that on, but at the same time, that's still crazy that you're actually thinking that.
バカ死んじゃえ鬼なんか猟奇的に殺されちゃえ
Okay, you shouldn't have said that either. But because we're the protagonist, I think we'll be fine. After spitting those parting words at me, Nanami pushed past me and ran away as far as she could. Seemed like the storm had finally passed. The room grew peaceful and quiet once again. This was how things should always be around here. My own perfect little world where stupid bullshit wasn't allowed. I'm just gonna quickly take my little notes on Nanami. So it should be Nishijo then, because that is the family name. I sat down in front of my PC, shaking my mouse a little to clear the Seriton screensaver. I tried to take a sip of the cola bottle on my desk, but it was empty.
しまった。これ、ナナミがさっき飲んだやつだ。
Oh god, I just had an indirect kiss with my little sister. I'm gonna puke. You're thinking way too hard about that. Maybe if she was a little more charming, it would have been the kind of eroge-like Maybe if she was a little more charming, it would have been the kind of eroge-like situation I could fap to. But with that horrible personality, no chance. If anything, it only made me more flaccid. What is this sentence? I put the cap back on the bottle, then threw it at the big garbage bag in the corner of my room. But it didn't go in the bag, instead bouncing off the wall and rolling under my bed. Well, whatever. Anyway, time to dive straight back into ESO. I just want to forget about the annoying real world ASAP. But it wouldn't last long. Just one day later, my immersion would be broken once again. My mental state had been on the up and up lately, but the moment I stepped outside, it all came crashing down again. Damn, why did I have to go to school today? It was so early.
なんで今日なんだよ。最低最悪だ。
You literally made your schedule in order to go to school as less as possible. That's why you have to go to school today, bro. But it wasn't like I could just take the day off. If I did, my minimum attendance chart would get all thrown off, and then I wouldn't be able to graduate.
卒業って。何を卒業するって言うんだよ。
I was the one insisting on going through with it, but I still couldn't help but complain. Deep down, you want to graduate, though. Like, that's like, that kind of shows that, like, there's hope in Takumi. Because, like, he, despite everything, deep down, as much as he hates going to school, he does still want to graduate. It's not, I don't think that's just for his parents. As I approached the wealthy district of Matsunami, I finally realized I'd been feeling a gaze for a while. God's gaze. But this wasn't the usual God's gaze. Oh, just literally someone looking at you? I didn't feel any shivers on the back of my neck. Oh my god, it's Sis. Oh my god, that was adorable. Holy shit, that little edit. As I turned the corner, I took a quick, tiny glance behind me, and I caught a glimpse of a girl wearing a Suimei uniform. No way, was it the demon from yesterday? Yeah, of course, because she was also wearing a Suimei uniform. Nah, it was blonde hair. It was definitely Nanami. I instantly lost my composure. An extreme amount of tension overtook my body, and my walking became stilted. A moment ago, it was a quiet morning like any other, but now it felt like the entire world was out to get me. I could faintly hear the sound of birds chirping atop the phone lines, and I could also hear music from the morning news playing in nearby homes. It also shows how much Nanami cares about Takumi, even if she pretends she doesn't. In a peaceful scene like this, where crime would seem totally out of place, I came close to imagining myself getting brutally murdered. Okay, I needed to calm down. It wasn't like I'd clearly seen her face or anything, and there was nothing strange about seeing Suimei students walking behind me. We were heading for the same destination, after all. I would be fine. Even though school was straight ahead, I decided to take a hard right. I was worried about what could be behind me, but I desperately suppressed the urge to turn around. I needed to keep my cool and act natural. My heart was pounding, but I kept walking. I continued for about a minute or so until I decided I couldn't take it anymore. I slowly turned around. Yeah. Oh! No, I don't... I don't think that was it was quick, but the hair actually looked lighter. It almost looked like silverish grayish almost. And I don't think and they looked maybe a little older potentially. I don't think that was Nanami. We made eye contact for a second. I think this is a new character, but I panicked and turned back around. Why was she following me? This path was obviously the long way to school. That meant she had to be tailing me. Either way, I'd never seen her before. She definitely wasn't the demon from yesterday. That was for sure. She was wearing glasses. I actually didn't pick up on the glasses, and the demon girl hadn't been. Despite actually kind of seeing what she looked like, I didn't actually notice the glasses, but it was like a flash. That fact alone was enough to calm me down. I decided to just head straight for school. I'd have to skip my routine breakfast at the park because of it, but oh well.
くそ、女子 A 名。
Girl A! Oh, that gives me Danganronpa vibes. To me, you're just a background character, pedestrian 1 or girl A, so stay out of my way, goddammit. Love it. Love the video game references. After I entered the school, girl A disappeared. So does he have an actual stalker? Like a girl that like is like madly in love with him? That would be... I can't even imagine how that would go. That would be so interesting. I'd expected her to continue tailing me because like once he like gets the... Like, I'm curious how he would react to that, because obviously he's like, you know, fuck 3D, I'm about 2D, but, like, he also thinks that everyone looks at him like a freak, so, like, what if somebody, or, like, almost everyone, because I guess, like, Daisuke doesn't, but, like, what if he realizes that a girl, like, actually is into him? Like, I'm so curious how he would react to that. I'm sure he'd, like, reject her at first, but I'm curious if, like, he'd warm up to it. I'd expected her to continue tailing me, but instead she turned and headed towards the third year classrooms. Maybe she was never tailing me in the first place. Maybe I was just overthinking it. But still, it was definitely weird that she'd taken the same detour that I had. Did she hate me for some reason? Had I done something to piss her off? I didn't think so. No, I couldn't have. I hardly ever went to school, and when I did, I tried to keep my presence very minimal. So then what the hell was she trying to accomplish? Ah, the internet cafe again. Somehow I'd managed to make it through the torture known as school. On my way back, I made my usual stop at Cafe. I took my seat in room 37. Nearby rooms were normally always empty, but surprisingly that wasn't true today. There was someone in room 36. Their door was closed, but the light from the desk lamp leaked through the cracks. I couldn't help but click my tongue when I entered my room. Having someone sitting nearby posed a bit of a problem. Whenever I did things like chatting online, I had the tendency to talk to myself sometimes. Well, whatever. Time to just ignore it and log into ESO already. And there's that ad again to be a programmer for Empire Sweeper Online, which is always interesting. Now, obviously, it's a scam, you know, paying money and a lot of money to apply, and by Shady Corp. Like, come on, it's really silly, but it's still funny. Well, whatever. Time to just ignore it and log into ESO already. As long as I make a conscious effort to stay quiet, it shouldn't really be an issue.
だよこいつら。
Yep, he's on his alt account. Irritated, I slammed my hands down on the keyboard. It had only been 2 hours since I started playing, and I was already this close to throwing myself off a cliff. Jesus. The people I'd partied up with today were total noobs. I'd been trying my best to help them, but one of them went all Leroy Jenkins and just died repeatedly. Then the other one was a mage, but he didn't cast any healing spells at all. As a result, we just keep getting full party wiped over and over again. And yet, instead of figuring out why it was happening, all they ever did was continue to piss and moan in the chat. Fuck these shitty players. Finally just lost it. I proceeded to PK both of them, steal all their items, and instantly escape to another area. Everything Neidhardt couldn't do. Lisa Lot. Oh, I get it. Lisa Lot, like Lancelot, but like feminized. Like gender bent. Lisa Lot could without a second thought. This was exactly what I came all the way to Cafe for. Okay. So like it's his alt, but it's also like, you know, Neidhardt, he plays like the ultimate good guy, you know, hero, like the cliche hero of a fantasy story, and Lisa Lot is more of a bit of a rogue, more of a scoundrel. Finally feeling a bit better, I breathed a sigh of relief and went to grab a drink. At Cafe had a bunch of all-you-can-drink soda fountains in the reception area. That's pretty baller. And related to that was the only bad thing about room 37. It was kind of far away from the reception area. Yeah, he mentioned that the first time we came here for refills. Oh my god, is that like the froggies? When I left my room, the door to room 36 was open. Naturally, in order to make my way to the front, I had to go past it. I casually took a peek inside as I walked past, but there was nobody in there. Come to think of it, I had heard someone get up a moment ago. Oh, we're about to run into this person, and the bag is giving me girl vibes. It could be a guy's bag, but it looks more like a bag that a girl would probably have. And the froggies also scream, or whatever they are, scream. I think those are Garo frogs. But either way, they definitely give off girl vibes. And although there was no one there, I saw a bag on the ground next to the reclining chair. It looked like a school bag, and there were a few toy straps hanging from it. They were Garo froggies, like the one Nanami had shown me yesterday. There were 3 of them in total. I guess they really were popular. Well, whatever. It wasn't like I cared either way. Besides, if the person came back and caught me staring, they might have taken me for a pervert or a thief. More likely a thief, but sure. Realizing that, I decided to just go get my drink. However, right as I went to leave, my eye caught a glimpse of the text on their monitor, and I froze. Oh my god, is it ESO? All things new gen. Okay, that works too. As if that wasn't enough, it was written in the most sickening font, as if it was trying to freak me out. New gen. I'd been deliberately avoiding any and all info about those cases. I really didn't want to know anything more about them. As long as I kept avoiding them, I could keep telling myself that they had nothing to do with me. I'm telling you, it terrifies me that I think Danganronpa 0 was actually partly inspired by this story. The fact that he keeps saying this shit... No, forget about that. More importantly, the customer next door to me was looking at a site lining out everything about New Gen. Was it just a coincidence, or did it mean something? Well, it's possible this is the girl. It's possible this is pink hair. It could be your potential stalker from this morning. It could be... I mean, I guess it could be blue hair, or it could be an entirely new character. Like, anything's on the table here. For a moment, the face of the demon girl flashed through my mind, sending goosebumps across my entire body. I shook my head violently, trying to force those horrible thoughts away. I was just overthinking it. Yeah, I had to be. Nobody was out to get me. I was just being paranoid. New Gen was pretty much all the media talked about lately. By this point, anyone would be interested in it. That was all it was. Yep, no doubt about it. Anyway, I should just go get my drink already, then get back to business. I quickly placed my cup under the dispenser and pressed the cola button. Delicious, ice-cold cola started pouring out. That's one thing I can respect. I love it. Dude, it is very funny how, like, it's the Coke obsession in Chaos Head and the Dr. Pepper obsession in Steins Gate. And ironically, Coke is, like I said, my go-to soda. Dr. Pepper's kind of my alternate, though. I can appreciate some Dr. Pepper as well. So that's actually really funny. So I can definitely relate with Chiyomaru or whoever's responsible for their soda preferences getting into these games. It was getting dark outside, which meant this place was going to get really crowded soon. There were already a few customers standing by the front desk waiting to be shown to their rooms, and the darker it got, the more people would show up. That was kind of repetitive, but sure. In about an hour or so, all the rooms surrounding rooms 37 would fill up. Once that happened, it'd be time for me to head home. I took my cup and headed back toward my seat. On the way, I casually glanced down the hall toward the bathrooms. That's when... Is it going to be pink hair? Oh, okay, it is our stalker. She looked really pretty, by the way, and I did see the glasses this time. I saw a girl's figure disappear into the corridor. She had been wearing a Suime uniform and had glasses on her face. I recognized her. It was the same girl that had been tailing me this morning, Girl A. Yes, she's still tailing you. I thought I might have been mistaken, so I hid behind some bookshelves and looked toward that corridor for a while, but she never showed up again. Must have just been my imagination. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, he can't trust his own eyes, because he knows that he himself is self-admitted is delusional. Yeah, it had to have been. I'd only seen her for half a second after all. This place was typically swarming with Suime girls, and plenty of them wore glasses. But what if it had been Girl A? If she was here, what would that mean? Was it just a coincidence, or had she followed me? was starting to get a little scared. Yeah, this is a little creepy for sure. A lot creepy, actually. I left the cafe and started rushing back to my base. In the end, my anxiety had been too much to handle, and I'd left almost immediately after I saw the girl. You just finished your coke and left. I wanted to get home as soon as possible, but the crowded sidewalks were slowing me down. I was feeling sicker and sicker by the minute. I hated crowds. I always felt like people were watching me and snickering. Trust me, most people are in their own world, and I'm like the biggest example of that, because I usually, you know, if I'm not wearing a hat at least, I have my headphones on and I'm just in my own world when I'm walking around. A red pedestrian signal stopped me in my tracks. As I waited for the light to change again, I couldn't help but take a quick look around. I didn't see Girl A anywhere. As soon as I reached the top of Dogenzaka, walking got a lot easier. Usually I would take the least crowded way back, but... Oh, the flash. That was nice. After what had happened 2 nights ago, I figured I should stick to the main streets just to be safe. It's probably a good idea. I was stuck at a red light again, so I took another look behind me, but Girl A was still nowhere to be found. The girl I'd seen at Cafe might have been a different person after all. I actually want to, let's be on configure help. Yeah, it would be, I just want to, yeah, okay, so it's, I believe that should be circle. I just wanted to check how, I wanted a reminder of how I hide text without, like, accidentally pressing something that I don't want to press. Feeling a bit relieved, I let my tense shoulders relax a little, then turned back around. Her again. There she is. Oh, this time. Oh, delusion option. I love it too because one, she's kind of gently smiling, but she also, I love the glasses glare. I'm a huge fan of glasses glare in anime. I don't know why, I just love it. Shocked, I took a step back. On the other side of the crosswalk, standing among the crowd, waiting for the light to change, was the girl. And to make matters worse, the gaze beyond those glasses was clearly pointed straight at me. She didn't even try to look away. Her eyes were so intense, it was as if they were urging me to do something. I couldn't take my eyes off her either. It was like I was suffering from sleep paralysis. Suddenly, Girl A opened her mouth. She seemed like she was trying to say something, but everything else was so loud there was no way I could hear what she was saying. I was completely entranced. All I could do was stare at the movements of her lips. Whose eyes are those eyes? Are you kidding? A chill ran down my spine. There was no way she just said that. It must have been my imagination. I sucked at lip reading anyway, so I'd probably just gotten it wrong. Interesting. So, are we gonna run into all these people that, like... Interesting. I don't know what to make of this. Whose eyes are those eyes? Because we know Shogun said whose eyes are those eyes and warned, Neidhardt about everything, basically. Like, this is, you know, the equation that ended the possibilities of our world. The picture, like, whatever, kind of the advance notice of the murder, basically. And like I said, the obvious first assumption was that Shogun was pink hair, but obviously Shogun, this could absolutely be Shogun. Which is interesting. If Shogun's not the murderer, then what's the connection to all of this? And the whose eyes are those eyes was the thing that Shogun said, and obviously it was written on the whiteboard, or the blackboard, sorry, the chalkboard. That's the word I'm looking for. I believe it was chalkboard, at least. So yeah, and we know it's, like, obviously a Suimei student, but I'm assuming most of the characters in this game are going to be Suimei students, so I don't think that's really going to help that much. Because, I mean, so far, every relevant character has been a Suimei student, because, yeah, we have Takumi, Daisuke, Nanami, pink hair, and glasses. I shook my head, trying my hardest to look away from her. Either way, Girl A had definitely said something. Whatever it was incredibly creepy, especially considering the two of us had never met before. I needed to stay away from her. I think this is Shogun. And I think she knows or has figured out that you're Neidhardt. I should just run. I'll just run straight home. Run. Is he actually? Oh, he actually is. Whipping my weak, withering heart into shape, I broke into a sprint. I ran back down Dozenzaka, trying to put as much distance between me and Girl A as I could. On the way, I turned to enter a back alley. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. And right as I did, I crashed into something and toppled over. Oh, no. Pain shot throughout my entire body. I groaned, not fully understanding what had just happened. Pain was so bad I could hardly stand. I don't think he tripped over a dead body, but I think they want us to think that, and it's gonna be nothing, and then we're gonna run into a dead body. Oh. Looking up, I saw a big motor scooter lying on the ground. That must have been what I run into. Gritted my teeth and tried to force myself to my feet, but my legs just weren't able to hold me up. Well, it didn't seem like I'd broken any bones, at least.
大丈夫ですか?
Okay. New character just dropped. Oh, it's the girl. It's Girl A. Yeah, I didn't expect that. Before I knew it, Girl A was right in front of me. She was peering into my face, eyes full of concern. Yeah, honestly, what the hell was up with this girl? How did she... What the hell? My body wouldn't move. As pathetic as it sounds, I was scared shitless. I had no idea what to do. I mean, no, you're right to be afraid. She's literally stalking you, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, this is not... We're not going to justify Takumi too much in this story, at least early on, based on how he acts. But this is one case where Takumi's fully justified to be scared shitless. My plan had been to catch a train ride to Shinsen and get home that way, but now I was starting to regret my life choices. Him and back alleys, man.
怪我してませんか?
Nah, we're good, I think. Girl A asked me timidly. Was she acting all worried so I would drop my guard? You won't fool me. I won't fall for your tricks, you 3D wench.
なんなんだよ.
Ooh. Ooh, she's pretty. Oh, we finally got a good look at her sprite. Ooh. Ooh, I like her design. I like the hair. I like how it's flowing in different directions. And it's like, you know, yeah, the glasses are cool. Her eyes aren't too big. I mean, they're big, but like by this game's standards, I feel like they're actually not. She looks really cool, actually. I like her design a lot.
ついてくるなよ. 僕に何の用だ?
Panicking, I lashed out at Girl A, who just stood there in surprise. I tried scuttling backward to make some distance, but I was still flat on my ass. If I didn't get away from her, she'd reach into her jacket, pull out a knife, and jump me. That was my thought process anyway. I mean, she has been stalking you. I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but it's not out of the realm of possibility, so I get why he thinks that. Oh, Jesus. That gruesome scene flashed through my mind over and over. All I could think was, that's how I'll end up. The girl hung her head, looking a little hurt.
あなたが急に走り出して様子を見に来たら倒れてたので
So she did just chase after him.
でも今は用事とかあるわけじゃないんですが
So, whether she's Shogun or not, if she did say whose eyes are those eyes, right? She's stalking us, she's kind of awkward. There's a lot of similarities between Girl A and Takumi. And that might have to do with why she's interested in us, because she recognizes that fact. Now, obviously, she's, you know, a very pretty girl, and she's not necessarily like a weeb. We just don't know anything about, like, her. But I mean, like, beyond like interests, it's more of like a general like personality. Like she might struggle with a lot of the same things Takumi does, and I don't know how she necessarily found that out. I mean, if she's been observing him a lot, then like perhaps, but that could be where we're going with this. But it's interesting because like you could tell from her speech patterns that much like Takumi, she's quite, you know, a lot of stuttering and, you know, struggling a little with her words, especially with like a longer line like that. She didn't want anything from me? What? Nani? That didn't make any sense.
じゃあ、なんで付きまとってくるんだ。
Yeah, I've noticed.
それは、
She gonna start blushing? She was getting flustered. I just couldn't get over how suspicious she was acting, and she doesn't want to admit that she is into him.
私、楠木ゆあって言います。
Kusunoki Yua. Interesting name. I don't think I've ever seen either of those names before in any like Japanese, wrestling, anime, like any Japanese related things that I would consume. Kusunoki sounds Japanese. Yua, I've definitely never seen Yua before. Nobody asked her to, but she suddenly started introducing herself anyway.
実は、あなたのこと、一目見て、なんとなく存在が気になって。
I mean, that's what I've talked about. Like, all things considered, Takumi is actually, like, pretty handsome.
それで、つい。
Instinctively, it has to do with the eyes thing. She just knows. Deep down, she just knows. What, she just instinctively started stalking me? The girl, whose name was Yua, apparently, kept lowering her gaze as she talked. Kusunoki Yua is a really cool name, though. Like, I really like Kusunoki as a name. And Yua is just interesting. It doesn't... Like I said, it's just... That's an interesting name.
ごめんなさい。
Yep, there's a gomenasai. She bowed her head vigorously. There's no way. That was the only thing on my mind. I think you're like half right. I think it's like she just knows that there's a connection because they both she's probably someone that could see God's gaze. Taking another look at her, this Yua girl was pretty cute. I had to give her that much at least. That was exactly why I couldn't trust her. A 3D girl who wanted to interact with me with good intentions. Yeah, he's at odds with that idea of being even possible. What kind of a rogue was this? It's so funny because I don't think we're going to get into anything like that. Not all the way, at least. My whole life, nobody had ever said anything like that to me. There was no way I could take her confession seriously. It was just way too out of left field. What, did she think I'd be jumping for joy or something? Did she forget she'd been stalking me until just now? Sure, that kind of thing might work in the 2D world, but IRL, it was a certified boner killer. God, this guy. Also, this whole situation was really embarrassing. All I wanted was to get out of here ASAP. Just talking to her made me anxious. 3D really was total dog shit.
僕は三次元に興味はないよ。
Oh my god, he actually said it out loud.
いや、
Oh god, he's stuttering real bad. I always stuttered when I tried to say something harsh, but I had to be clear. Don't follow me anymore. I don't like it. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, in his head, he's so aggressive, but he actually really, like, almost can't say mean things. It's actually a really interesting dichotomy.
迷惑だよ。付きまとわないでよ。
すいません。
Aw. She sure looked disheartened. Maybe she'd actually meant it. No, don't fall for it. You can't trust anything about 3D women. You can only trust 2D. You can trust Saratan far more than this harlot. What a line! Harlot's crazy.
もうついてこないでね。僕帰るから。
As I mumbled incoherently, I tried as hard as I could to stand up, but I struggled. My body was still hurting all over the place. My collarbone in particular was being a real bitch. The pain was making me feel kind of dizzy. I might have hit my head when I'd fallen down earlier. I almost fell over again, but Yua caught my hand and stopped me.
怪我してるんですね。手貸します。
I tried really hard not to make eye contact. I could feel my face turning bright red. She'd definitely make fun of me if she noticed, so I turned away and forcefully shook her hand off. My mind was a total blank. I'd hardly, if ever, touched a female before. Except family members, of course. My heart was beating out of my chest. Like, you could tell that like it definitely feels like he's in denial, right? And that like getting him out of his shell and seeing like what comes of it is like a really interesting part of this story. Like I said, like man, dude, Chiyomaru and company know what the fuck they're doing. That's all I gotta say. Like this shit's crazy.
お家まで送ります。あなたが怪我したのは私がつきまとっちゃったせいですから。だから送らせてください。
I felt really happy when you asked me that. I wasn't really used to being treated kindly by others. Every other 3D woman I had interacted before was utterly vile, but this girl was actually starting to warm up to her a little bit. Oh no. But I didn't have the courage to look her straight in the eye. I mean, she had been stalking me, and she also might have been related to the demon girl, and I didn't want to die. Fair. All sorts of thoughts flew through my head, but I couldn't focus on any single one of them. My mind was a total blur.
お家どこですか？
深セン。
深セン？
I nodded before instantly regretting it. Why the hell had I told her that? Was I expecting something to happen if I did? This had to be one of my delusions. Maybe karma'd put me on a lucky streak just so it could come to beat me down later. You saw that cliche all the time in anime. This must have been some sort of death flag. Yes, death flag is actually a really fitting term to bring up in this game. A metafiction term. When a character triggers a death flag, they have said or done something that foreshadows their death. A common way to trigger a death flag is to make a promise on the eve of a climactic battle. For example, when this war's over, I'm gonna get married. So it's funny, I don't know if I actually used the term death flag, but I might have. But earlier in the episode, I talked about, he made a comment about how, like, the new gen killer would never go after, like, a brat, like, a bratty girl like, Nanami. And I took that as a death flag. Like, that scared me a little. Like, I was like, they're not gonna kill Nanami, are they? They might. But that just felt like a thing that you don't say in stories. It's exactly why. It's a death flag. Hardcore. Oh god, 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 oh god. Before I knew it, Yua was trying her best to prop me up with her shoulders. Her soft body was tightly pressed against mine, and I could smell a sweet scent coming from her long hair. This couldn't be real. There was no way a 3D girl was being this nice to me.
歩けますか？
God, I love the tie. I love that the tie matches the pants slash skirts. Like, that is so clean. This uniform is actually great. So it's like simple, but the tie, that like dark, like purple, like plaid, like tie that and like the pants and skirts magic, like, oh, that design is amazing. I nodded in response.
じゃあ行きましょう。
Her voice almost sounded nervous. Then with my head pointed down at the ground, I slowly started to walk. She'd done so much for me at this point, I couldn't turn her down or shake her off anymore. I was out of options. I just had to let her do as she pleased. Leaning on her delicate shoulder for support, the two of us got moving. This is interesting, though. Yua seems to be chill. Neither of us said a word until we reached the building where my base was located. After all, there was no way I could hold a half-decent conversation with a girl, let alone one I didn't know. I knew that the second I'd bring up anime or video games, she'd automatically go, ew, what a freak, just like every other 3D girl. She wouldn't even bother listening or trying to understand. I don't know, man. You definitely could. You just don't go full freak right out the gate. You just say, hey, you into anime? Are you into video games? Like, it doesn't have to be that, like, crazy of a comment. From my point of view, there was just no point in talking to bitches like that.
ここでもういいから。
That grumble was about all I could muster, and I looked at Yua to make sure she understood it. She gave me a gentle nod in response, then removed her arm from under me. It was still a little unstable, but I managed to stay upright.
やっぱりお部屋までついていきましょうか。
I completely ignored her suggestion and walked toward the lobby. I say lobby, but it was really just a narrow entryway to the elevator hall. Still, the moment I lifted my foot to start climbing the small staircase leading up to it, a sharp pain ran through me and I nearly fell over again.
大丈夫ですか？
Yua rushed over to support me. Damn it, why was she still here?
やっぱり部屋まで送ります。
Aw.
絶対送りますから。
Aw, I won't let you down is adorable. She sounded almost desperate. I hated to admit it, but Yua had been a huge help. And in the end, she had taken me all the way back to my base. To get there, first we had to go all the way up to the 8th floor, then take a steep flight of emergency stairs up to the roof. In my current state, there was no way I could have ever possibly managed that alone. Yua wasn't strong in any sense of the word. She was very clearly running on fumes, and yet she had helped me up the stairs as if her life depended on it. Who knows? Maybe it does.
こんなところに住んでるんですね。
Yeah, it is kind of unusual, to say the least. Honestly, if he had air conditioned, and, like, I don't know if there's, like, some, like, you know, the situation with him, like, showering or whatever, but, like, it's fine. Like, it's like a little apartment, but, like, he does live in Tokyo, so, like, it's not the worst, right? Like, it could be worse. Yua was left speechless when she saw my container house. No surprise there. Normal people probably would never believe someone could live in a container. I could buy it. Like, it seems big enough. It's just, like I said, it's more... There's gotta be some sort of air conditioning, because a container like that would bake.
なんか憧れます。
え？
アウトローな感じがしていいですよね。こういうのって。
Rebelliousness is an interesting way to put it. I never thought she'd say something like that. Was she just trying to flatter me or something? You won't fool me, wench. I will never fall for 3D girls' tricks. I think what you're not taking the next logical step, right? If she is trying to flatter you, why is she trying to flatter you? And I think at this point she could kill you at this point if she was gonna do something or is working with pink hair. At this point, the reason she would be trying to flatter you is because she wants to befriend you or more. With Yua still propping me up, she walked up to the container door, removed the padlock, and stepped inside. Whew, I was finally back. Today was another total catastrophe. This is why you really couldn't beat staying indoors.
真っ暗ですね。電気のスイッチはどこに？
Did she really not have any shame just coming into my room like this? I mean, to be fair, she had brought me all the way here on her shoulder. But I really didn't want her seeing the rest of the room if I could help it. I mean, I had dozens upon dozens of figures lined up on my shelves, piles of eroge boxes on my bed, and trash all over the floor. Yeah, honestly, yeah, like, those are in order of, like, how, like the figures are like, yeah, okay, that's a little sus, but, like, not really. The eroge is the next step of, like, okay, that's bad. The trash is the part that's, like, disgusting, bro. Like...
もういいから、話して。
Huh. After I said that, I waited for Yua to let go of me, but she didn't budge.
床すごく散らかって、じゃなくて、歩きにくいと思うんですけど、絶対危ないです。ソファーまで行きましょう。そこで話しますから。
In the end, I just kept on doing whatever she said. The couch was covered in CDs and magazines, but Yua quickly cleared them out of the way as quickly as she could while still holding me up anyway. As soon as she was finished, I sat right down. Man, she's just so sweet and caring. Wait, what am I saying? I'm not gonna fall for it, I'm not! Ah, it's so cute! Okay, now you're being cute, Takumi. Oh my god, that's great. That's amazing. Dude, he's literally, like, trying so hard not to fall for a real woman. It's crazy.
平気ですか？
The two of us were all alone in the room. It was almost pitch black, save for the tiny bit of moonlight shining through the open doorway. As a result, I couldn't tell what sort of expression Yua had on her face. On the bright side, though, hearing a girl breathing in the dark was pretty hot. I mean, I guess. I've never thought about it. I mean... I don't know about in this situation, but maybe in some other situations, sure, but... Come to think of it, it was the first time anyone aside from my little sister had ever seen my room. which meant it was the first time I'd had an actual girl up here. Damn, he doesn't even think of his the bro literally talking about how he doesn't see his sister as an actual girl is hilarious. If this were a game, then I would have tripped some sort of flag. After that, soon enough, the mood would turn romantic, and before we knew it, we'd be all over each other. Jesus. That said, I wasn't expecting anything like that. Reality was complete other shit. It was nothing like the 2D world. And besides, this Yua girl wasn't normal. She was a stalker, so yeah. Wait, why was she still here? How long was she planning on staying? Her job here was done, so shouldn't she be leaving now? That was when it hit me. Wait, no. Was her plan to get me alone in an isolated spot and then do something horrible to me?
明かりのスイッチは。
パソコンの。
Oh shit, he actually told her.
パソコン？
The only light source in the room was the desk lamp by my PC. I wanted to tell her to turn that lamp on, but I just couldn't get the words out.
そうか。あのデスクライトですね。
Yua carefully made her way over to my computer desk, avoiding all the garbage by her feet, then turned on the lamp. And then there was light. And then there was light. The darkness had put all sorts of embarrassing ideas and delusions in my head. And now that I could see Yua's face clearly, all those fantasies made it hard to look her in the eye without getting even more embarrassed than I already was. Panicked, I couldn't get any words out, so I just kept my head down. She'd shouted so suddenly that goosebumps shot across my skin. Her gaze was pointed straight at the Seroton figure next to my monitor, who was striking her favorite sexy pose. Please be a fan of Bloodtoon.
これって、ブラチューのセイラちゃん。
Yes!
ですよね。
Yes! Yeah, he's like, wait, what? Nani?
知ってるの？
はい。ブラチューは大好きで、毎週見てます。
Aww! Are we gonna start watching Bloodtoon together? That would be adorable. He didn't even process that this was a possibility.
セイラちゃんがお好きなんですね。私もヒロインの中では彼女が一番好きなんですよ。衣装も可愛いですし。
Damn. Bro, what is happening? The fact that, like, this is actually happening is hilarious. It's Takumi's reaction that's killing me. Her voice was full of joy. She was clearly speaking genuinely. There was no way she was just trying to trick me. Who'd have thought? Could Yua be a...
不女子。
Yeah, those do exist. Oh man, one of my favorite words. A term for a female otaku with a particular interest in yaoi or works of fiction that depict homosexual relationships between men. Does not apply to female otaku as a whole. So, yeah, typically, yeah, that is the I like how they, like, specify that too. Like they mention yaoi and then they specify or works of fictions that depict homosexual relationships between men. Kind of the distinction between the two. I only recently learned kind of that, like, that at least, especially in more recent times, that, like, in Japan, it's yaoi kind of has a bit of a, like, negative connotation. Which is why, like, the term BL is really kind of more prevalent in Japan. So like here, it kind of, they make the distinction of the two, and, like, kind of the, you know, yaoi is very much kind of centered around the idea of, like, sex, whereas, you know, then they just find works of fictions that depict homosexual relationships between men. So this is funny because this is like a female version of, like, wait, are you gay, when he was talking to Daisuke, because, like, don't get me wrong, Yua might be a Fujo, and to be fair, with Fujos, like, I feel like I've always, to me, there's a little bit of a gap, like, that could lean into some other descriptors. I feel like, you know, I use the term a little more loosely than this. but like at its core, this is like the most common type of Fujo. But I do think there's like variations of Fujos that don't necessarily have to be the otaku, the female otaku that's particularly into this, right? But I do think like this is the most traditional form of Fujo. But it's kind of usually like I've always kind of used it more generally as like the female otaku that's kind of like obsessive, and often a lot of that has to do with just unhinged craziness and towards like certain things in like anime and manga and like otaku culture, a lot of times involving homosexuality, and sometimes not man. It could also go the other direction, but yeah, generally speaking, I use Fujo pretty close to the definition that Chaos Head Noah has provided us. Yeah, she might not even know the term. Yeah. She probably doesn't even know what that means. Well, maybe she just liked anime. Yeah. That's more likely.
あれ、フィギュアって言うんですよね。ちょっと見せてもらってもいいですか？あ、すみません。ずうずうしいこと言っちゃって。もう帰った方がいいですよね。
Aw. She bowed repeatedly, clearly flustered.
見ていいよ。
Yeah, he's curious. She's got him hook, line, and sinker, and she doesn't even know it because she's like awkward and cute too. Well, I couldn't say I didn't enjoy her laying the praise on my waifu, so I might as well be a little nice to her. Oh, I love this.
本当ですか？ありがとうございます。
Yua took Sarah in her hand and started inspecting her closely.
それは山陽堂版の覚醒前バージョンなんだ。セーラフィギュアはいくつか種類が出てるけど、最初に出たやつ。
へえ。
あんまりクオリティは高くないよ。顔とか微妙に崩れてるし、ポーズも平凡すぎてあんまりエロくないし。
Yeah.
でも服の胸元部分をキャストオフできるのは今のところそれだけなんだ。
Wow.
胸元?
Yeah. You don't. You see, he's already going a little. I'm not gonna lie. I've never even like. To be fair, like I'm kind of like weird because like when I get figures, it's kind of like a weird collection thing. Like most of my figures are still in box. Not all of them, but yeah. A specification that allows for nudity or semi-nudity in figures by designing certain parts such as clothing to be easily removable. This specification originated in 2006 and has only gotten more and more popular since. Okay, so this... I'm surprised that started then. I'm surprised that's not older, to be honest. So it's within the last 20 years that this became a thing. I'm not gonna lie. Now, to be fair, maybe that's because I don't really, like, look for... like lewd figures. I just want figures that like of characters of like actual things from the series. You know, I've never I guess I have to one day for the memes, but I've never had like the bunny outfit figures because you know like every girl in anime has a bunny outfit figure. But like, you know, I think all the figures I have are just like figures of like them from the show, and it's either like a special, like in a few cases, like with like my two Madoka figures, it's like special, you know, kind of special outfits, but they are like canon. And then like, yeah, like none of them are like I feel like the closest thing to a lewd figure I have is like Yoko from Gurren Lagann, and that's just because she barely wears any clothes in general. Right? You know what I mean? So, yeah. Interesting.
ちなみに僕はセーラフィギュアは4種類全部揃えてるよ。そっちの棚に制服バージョンとメイドバージョン、あと水着バージョンがある。
Oh boy.
そんなに種類がすごいですね。
一番評価が高いのはメイドバージョンなんだけど、個人的には水着バージョンが悪くない。
You see how he's still a little nervous because he's talking to a girl, but he's starting to weeb out, so he's starting to get more confident.
そうなんですか。見てみたいですね。でもちょっと暗くて。
もうすぐアルファから待望の覚醒後バージョンが出るんだけど、これはかな
Ultimate
りクオリティ高そう
post-awakening
なんだ。
version sounds cool. Nice.
キャストオフも胸元だけじゃなくてほぼ全身可能だっていうし、
bro,
表情もポーズも
stop,
質感も言うことなしだね。
stop. You didn't have to say that part.
あとはカラーさえバッチリなら今年発売されたフィギュアの中でも MVP 候補だよ。
アルファ？
メーカーだよ、フィギュアの。
ああ、なるほど。
He's trying so hard. Suddenly realizing what I'd done, I'd clamped my mouth shut. I'd been rambling on for way too long. I'd gone off on a tangent about goddamn anime girl figures, removable pieces, sexy poses. I bet I look like a total idiot to you. See, like, that's the funny thing, right? Because I give so, like, few fucks. Like, I wouldn't, like, if I was, like, into figures in that way, like, I honestly wouldn't mind talking about it to people or even girls about it. Like, it's just kind of like, yeah, shit's hot, bro. Like, I don't know, but that's just me, right? I feel like the average person would not, if they were into this stuff, would not be saying this to girls. I wanted to know what sort of face she was making, but I couldn't bring myself to look at her. Either way, though, it was obvious. She must have thought I was total human trash. I started panicking. My heart was beating out of my chest. I tried to avert my gaze as far away as I could. That's when she called out to me, and I reflexively turned back to look at her. Her expression... it wasn't actually full of horror and disgust like I'd expected. No, that comes with the murders later.
さっき言っていた戦闘バージョンとかメイドバージョンも見せてもらっていいですか？
うん。そっちの棚に。
I was totally baffled. There wasn't a hint of anything on her face other than a wide, bright smile.
わあ、すごいですね。こんなにたくさん。
In fact, her eyes were sparkling as she looked at my shelves full of figures. No way. Were there actually 3D women that weren't disgusted by this stuff? Believe it or not, there are 3D women out there that have bigger collections than you. And I can say that with 100% certainty. It must have been a 1 in a billion chance, but I suppose there were billions of people in the world.
メイドセイラちゃんってこれですね。ふむふむ。アニメの印象とはちょっと違うけど、すごく可愛いです。下着までちゃんと作り込んであるんだ。こういうの実物で見たのは初めてですけど、いいですね。私も買ってみようかな。
だったら覚醒後バージョンを予約した方がいいよ。あれは絶対おすすめだから。
そうですね。あなたの話を聞いていたら、その覚醒後バージョンは本気で欲しくなりました。
She's trying. I feel like she is trying hard for sure, but I do think she's coming from a genuine place. I feel like both of those can be true.
覚醒後って12話のあのシーンのことですよね。
よく知ってますな、お主。かなりのマニアですな。
It's so funny because this reads like a line like this reads super confident, but like you could hear the tone in his voice and like he's trying to be more confident, but he's not.
はい、好きですから。特にあの時の覚醒シーンは毎日録画したものを見返してます。
Damn, she really is a fangirl. Holy shit.
あのシーンって演出と作画宮地なんだ。だからクオリティ高くて当然。
Miyagi. Interesting. I wonder if that's a reference to a famous like animator, director, etc. Yeah.
宮地？
そういう神クリエイターがいるんだ。あの人の演出はマジで神だよ。アットちゃんの実況版でも神来たってなるし。
そうなんですか。すごく知識が豊富なんですね。私、スタッフが誰かなんてまるで気にしてませんでした。
I don't usually. I have my individuals though, and I guess Chiyomaru is one of those individuals. Shoutouts to the science adventure universe, just because like I'm so obsessed with Steins Gate and haven't even played the visual novel yet. Soon.
監督と演出と脚本はチェックしとくといいよ。特に新作なんかはそれを調べるだけで内容の良し悪しが大体予測できるし。
It doesn't hurt, but it's far from a guarantee.
わかりました。
I like to be as blind as possible, though, so I don't usually check this stuff out until after the fact. And sometimes I know things, but you know, I tell you guys if I do. As Yua said that, she turned to face me with another lovely smile. That is pretty cute. I made a girl smile. I never thought I'd see this kind of eroge stuff happen IRL, let alone to me. Oh, man. Believe it or not, the real world's not always as scary as you think it is. It's interesting because he's simultaneously going to learn that the real world is a terrifying place and worth living in this game. Because we're going to get the dichotomy of stuff like this and gruesome murders. Usually 3D women, including my little sister, only ever smiled when they were making fun of me. There had to be some kind of catch. There was just no other explanation. I couldn't forget what Seraton had told me. Till then, you can't trust anyone. Don't listen to anything that anyone says. Yeah, that is what she told you.
こんなこと聞いていいかどうかわからないんですけど。
何?
Yua got all shy out of nowhere. She was looking down and avoiding eye contact.
聞かせてもらってもいいでしょうか。あなたのお名前。
Aww! So she doesn't know our name then.
名前?
Now that she'd mentioned it, Yua had introduced herself to me, but I'd never returned the favor.
西條匠.
I was a little embarrassed, so I ended up weakly mumbling it out.
西條匠くんですね。何年生
？2年。
私は3年。
Okay, so
私の方が年上さんですね。
She gets a little amusement out of that. Oh, this is the first time I really want to do a delusion. Oh man, I was getting dizzy from how moe that sounded. Oh no. I really want to. Could Yua be the kind older sister type? Damn it, they're trying to seduce me and shit. This woman was dangerous. She must be up to something.
それで西條くんにお願いがあるんです。
Yeah? A request? Seriously? Now we're gonna get out of here. We not delusion. We are not deluding. We are not... I wanted to make a way to combine delusion and gooning, but... Yeah, no, nothing sounds good enough for me. Was she going to ask for one of my Seraton figures? If so, then she could fuck right off. She had the gall to ask me to part with one of my waifus. Ridiculous. Total insanity. Girl, dude, she literally hasn't said anything yet, bro. There was nothing anyone could say, and there was no price anyone could pay to make me give up one of my Seraton figures. It wasn't fucking happening. If you want one so bad, go buy one yourself. But while I was yelling at her in my head, Yua suddenly had a huge fall, landing flat on her rear. She rubbed her butt while on the verge of tears.
すみません。CD を踏んづけちゃったみたいです。ケース割れたかも。本当にごめんなさい。私、きちんと片付けますから。
いいよ。
Just get out of here already. You've done enough. And what the hell was that request you mentioned earlier? Yeah, we still haven't gotten the request yet. Yua started cleaning up the trash and CD cases lying all over the floor, even though I told her that she didn't have to. She looked so apologetic, it almost made me feel guilty, like I had done something wrong. Oops, sorry, I just dropped my controller there.
確保させてください。すいません。その後でお願い言いますから。
Fair enough. With the way she just instantly started cleaning up, and thoroughly at that, she reminded me somewhat of my mom. Not caring in the slightest about what may cause problems for other people, rushing straight into doing whatever she pleased, you know, the typical meddler. In that case, I should probably start helping her, shouldn't I? We both reached for a piece of trash at the same time, our hands would touch, and we'd both say, ah. Then we'd stare into each other's eyes, just soaking in the glow of the moment, right? Wrong! The fuck do you think this is, some kind of rom-com? Hey, we could have rom-com elements in it. It's definitely psychological horror, though. And this game's not gonna convince me it's anything else, based on what I've seen up to this point. No way in hell was I helping her. While in the middle of piling up magazines, Yua suddenly stopped. Her back was turned, so I couldn't tell what she'd just picked up. Eroge?
な、
Controller there.
な、
Oops, sorry, I just dropped my controller there.
な、
Oops, sorry, I just dropped my controller there. な、
な、
Oops, sorry, I just dropped my controller there.
いえ、気にしないでください。
What was she getting so nervous about? Something about it made me suspicious, most likely eroge. Come to think of it, she was essentially ransacking my room at this point. What if she was trying to steal something? Maybe she was thinking that I had so many figures I wouldn't notice if one went missing? But little did she know, she was dead wrong, god damn it, Takumi. I'd perfectly memorized every single waifu on that shelf. If even a single one went missing, I'd be able to tell in a nanosecond. That's crazy.
フィギュアには触らないでね。
はい。いえ、違うんです。そのブラチューの同人誌っていうんですか、それが落ちてまして、ちょっと中身を見てみたら。
Oh yeah. My Bloodtoon dojins? Shit, they're all porn.
すごかったのでびっくりしました。
Fair enough.
勝手に見ないでよ。
すいません。
Yeah. Yua began tidying up again, nervous as ever. Shortly after, she quickly cleared a space to sit down and then turned toward me.
それで、さっき言ったお願いですけど。
I really don't know what she's gonna say, to be honest. Like, can we be friends? Can we talk again? Can we hang out at school? Like, something like that, maybe? Finally! I gulped, then instinctively braced myself for impact.
さっき言ったフィギュアの予約、一緒に行ってもらえませんか？
Oh, that's even cuter. Oh, that voice acting was great. Holy shit.
私、そういうアニメショップみたいなところって今まで行ったことなくて。で、私、なんだかすごくぶしつけなお願いしてますよね。すいません。
I don't know why that would be rude of all things.
私のせいで西条くんは怪我をしたのに。
I guess. Bro literally doesn't know what to say. This was some dangerous territory. I couldn't afford to just blurt out an answer. On one hand, Yua and I had shared interests. Hell, she was even a fan of Sarah. She also seemed very interested in what I had to say, which meant she was someone I could get along with as an otaku, sure. But on the other, it had to be some sort of trap. There was just no way in hell something like this, something so perfect, would actually happen to me in real life. It was an eroge cliche, nothing more. It's almost like you're in a video game, bro. I couldn't let 3D corrupt me. Think, Takumi, think. What the hell could Yua's true goal be? Yeah, if she wanted to kill you, she would have done so already.
すいません。今のお願いは忘れてください。私、西条くんがいろいろ話してくれるのが、嬉しくて。
Aw. Bro's literally like dying. Yua sat there with her head hung low. Pretty much every 3D girl ever was insanely full of themselves, and meanwhile this girl was remarkably timid. Yeah, remind you of someone? It's almost like you two are similar. She seems like a much sweeter girl overall, but we don't get to hear her inner thoughts, so who knows? And there was no way a 3D girl could be so pretty and of such a cute personality. Everyone knew that, meaning she had to be faking it. That's crazy. I'd turn her down. I'd gathered all my strength, all the power vested in me as a man, and shoot her down. As Yua looked back up at me, I saw tears welling up behind her glasses. Wait, was she crying? Was it because I wasn't saying anything? Had I just made her cry? Look at how he's worried. He's worried about it. Oh, it's so good. I love how in denial he is. Oh no. Give me a break. What a life or death situation. I'd never experienced anything like this outside of video games. My heart was pounding out of my chest. I was even starting to feel a little guilty. Why do I feel like we're about to get a choice? They say that women weaponize their tears, but only now was that really starting to ring true for me. Honestly, I had absolutely no clue how to deal with it. I was getting more and more nervous by the second. We can go together, I tried to say, but ultimately I couldn't bring myself to. Because if I did, surely she'd just say something like, ew, this dumbass actually took it seriously? What a freak. Call it a persecution complex, but that was how I felt. I just couldn't do it. I like that he recognizes that that's a bit of a persecution complex, though. That shows a little bit of his own self-awareness.
無理してくれなくていいです。私のわがままに西条くんを付き合わせるのは良くないですし。
Aww. Her eyes seemed even more wet than before. I saw a single tear dripping out from the corner of her eye.
行くよ。
Eh?
言ってもらえるんですか？
I had no choice but to nod. Yeah, dude, this cuteness is too much. I wasn't prepared, bro. I was prepared for some freaky shit, and I got, like, absolutely, like, adorable, like... I don't even know what to call this. I couldn't think of any other way to make her stop crying. Still, it felt like I was stepping right into a trap. Yua seemed incredibly relieved. She took a deep breath, took off her glasses, and wiped away her tears.
断られて当然だと思ってたのに。西条くん、ありがとうございます。
Huh? She was thanking me. Seemed like I'd been able to stop her from completely breaking down. That's a start, bro. Maybe I should be the one thanking her. Shit. How did I get myself into such a mess? Goddamn 3D women, you can never let your guard down around them.
行くとしたらいつがいいでしょう？
Hold on, where the hell had her sad-looking expression gone? Only a second had passed and she was already looking happy as a clam. Those really were crocodile tears, weren't they? So, she should win a fucking Academy Award. It's possible.
セイラちゃんの新しいフィギュアはもうすぐ発売なんですよね。
うん。きっとすぐに完売しちゃうだろうね。
だったら早めに行った方が良さそうですね。明日とか。
According to my schedule, I needed to go to school tomorrow. That made it 3 times total this week. Then the week after, I'd only have to go twice. I had a feeling that tomorrow was going to suck even more than usual. I don't know. But I already told you I'd go with her. If I tried changing my mind now, she'd start the waterworks all over again. Ugh, I really had no choice here, huh?
わかったよ。
I was incredibly reluctant, but still I agreed. Yua seemed happy to hear that, but she couldn't fool me with that face of hers.
西条くんは何組？明日放課後に迎えに行きますよ。
B 組。
2年 B 組ですね。じゃあ授業が終わったら待っててください。
Alright. I nodded quickly in response, hoping that'd make her leave faster. What? I just made a promise to hang out with a girl? Was this a dream? A delusion? No, I'm keeping you out of the delusions. That's my goal, bro. I pinched my cheek to test that theory. It definitely hurt.
それじゃあ長い間お邪魔しちゃってすいませんでした。足もし痛かったらお医者さんに行ってくださいね。
あ、うん。
Alright. I sat on the couch and watched Yua leave. She turned around and waved goodbye, then exited out the front door.
西条くん、また明日。
また明
Hey,
日
Sarah.
だってさ。
Are we about to have a delusion with Sarah?
しかも手を振ったりして。
Yeah, I know. Damn. I felt like I was about to melt with bliss, so I quickly stiffened back up.
あの女絶対僕に惚れてる。間違いないね。
Bro, he's like, this is such a weird cope.
ま、付き合うか付き合わないかは僕に選択肢があるわけだし、あの女を情け容赦なく振ってやるさ。
You keep telling yourself that.
お前は僕の女にふさわしくない。セイラよりいい女になって出直してこい。まあ、一生無理だけどな。何しろセイラは永遠の17歳だからな。みたいな。
What the hell? There was no way any girl could ever be better than Seraton. I picked up the Sarah figure and rubbed her against my cheek, and Seraton couldn't have looked happier. No Sarah delusion? No. Okay, we're in class now.
おっと、時間か。今のところテストに出るからな。ちゃんとノート書いておけよ。今日はここまで。
Fair enough.
起立。
I'm more curious about the whose eyes or those eyes thing. Like, again, someone wrote that on this chalkboard, and we saw it, and it looked like she mouthed it, but we haven't had any discussion or confirmation on the whose eyes or those eyes thing. The math teacher, wait, what was his name again? Well, whatever. The teacher left the classroom, and that was the end of classes for the day. Some students started chatting about where they'd go after school. Those who were in clubs gathered with their fellow members and headed for their club rooms. And the rest were just getting ready to go home ASAP. I was in the last camp. As soon as the bell rang, I was always the first to pack up and leave. Yeah, but you have to find, don't forget, you have to find, Yua. I gotta get used to her name. But today I stayed glued to my seat, trying to avoid eye contact with any of my classmates. My anxiety was killing me. After all, my date with Yua was very soon. Any normal, non-Vidya-obsessed person would have been losing their mind to have a date with a girl planned. Non-Vidya video games. Okay, I actually am not familiar. Typically used on message boards such as @channel. But this was me we were talking about, and I couldn't feel any more depressed. I couldn't relax at all. I was feeling physically sick. This would be the first time I'd ever gone on a date with a girl, so I had no clue what to do. Besides, would Yua even show up? Maybe she'd just been fucking with me yesterday and she planned on standing me up. She was probably watching from the shadows right now, giggling at how gullible I was. Well, now that I thought about it, that honestly might be better than her actually showing up. Wait, did I really have to just sit around waiting? I mean, I could just blow her off and go home. Alright, it's settled. Time to head home. We were in different grades anyways, so if I just canceled our date at the last minute, I'd never have to see her again for the rest of my life. Fully determined to follow through with that plan, I stood up. Oh.
たく、何してんだ?
Yeah, he actually is for once. Out of nowhere, my back fell victim to a hard slap. I knew who was behind me without even looking. The only guy in class who ever talked to me. None other than Mizumi-kun. Yes, Daisuke's here.
お前帰らないのか? いつもならチャイムが鳴ると同時に消えるのによ。俺密かに匠の音速直帰って名付けてたんだぜ。
Takami's supersonic split is awesome.
もう帰るよ。
誰か待ってるとか。
Yeah, he knows. He just knows.
え?
How the hell did he know? Because he does this all the time.
なんだよ、図星かよ。
Wait, he's like, actually though?
どうして?
なんだかやけにそわそわしてたからな。教室の入り口をさっきから何度も気にしてるし。
Yeah, he's very observant. He was good. Yeah, he is. Dude, Daisuke is my guy. He's an asshole, but he's my guy. Oh, man. I actually am into all these characters so far, surprisingly. Like, Takumi, it's because he's the worst, which actually makes him really funny to me. And then, like, the Daisuke, I really like Daisuke. Nanami, I could see going either way, but I appreciate what she is so far. And then Yua seems cool. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say Daisuke is my favorite because he feels like the least important of the four we've met. But, like, I do really like Daisuke. Either way, I probably shouldn't say anything that'd make me stand out too much. Don't you forget, Takumi. You've got to be invisible at this school. You've got to blend in, be like air.
別に誰も待ってないよ。
そうか? だったら今の間はなんだよ。
Uh-oh.
それは
fuck. Masumi-kun wasn't a bad guy, but at times like these, he could really be fucking annoying. He can get really fucking annoying. Take a hint, FFS. Net slang, short for fuck's sake. Okay, yeah. A way to express exasperation. I didn't put that together, but yeah, I am familiar. It's just, I don't think I've ever seen it capitalized like that.
西条くん
Oh, here we go. Shivers ran down my spine. I slowly turned my head toward the voice. Yua was standing by the classroom door, looking apologetic. Oh, god damn it. Because of Masumi-kun, I'd lost my chance to escape.
おい、なんだりゃ
Yeah.
どういうことだ
Yeah. Masumi-kun looked unusually shocked. In fact, he was literally Is this the girl he wanted? He talked about a girl, like, I want to say, I don't know if they confirmed it was, like, the next grade, but there was a girl that he was into. He was, like, moving on to the next class or whatever. Masumi-kun looked unusually shocked. In fact, he was literally shaking. He put his arm around my shoulder and gave me a stern look.
おいタクどういうことか説明しろよお前の彼女か
違うよ。
How many times have I told you, Masumi-kun, I'm not into 3D?
だったら何なんだよ言っとくがタクの姉ちゃんとかそういうオチは期待してねえからな
Well, his sister is around here, but that's not his
引
sister.
きこもりのくせに何をどうやったらあんないい女と知り合えるんだ
I love this guy.
昨日急に付きまとわれて。
そりゃつまりあれか逆難されたってことか
Yeah, I know.
この
I know. It is like that. Yeah, he might actually be a lucky bastard too. She seems really nice. I feel like there's gonna be a psycho element to Yua. She seems too reserved and like not in the same vein as Takumi, but there's a dark side to her, I'm sure. I feel like there's gonna be a dark side to almost every character though. I think that's part of what they're getting at by showing, you know, Takumi's like inner dialogue so much and it being what it is. Honestly, that's kind of what happened, though. She kind of did pick us up, and in the most awkward way possible, but she kind of did. He put his hand on his chin, pondering for a moment, and then he finally let me go.
そうか世の中には物好きってのもいるんだなけどタクがまともな性癖を持ってたみたいで少し安心したぜ
We've not gotten that far, bro.
性癖って、それに彼女とは別に何も。
そうかそう
Yeah,
か
whatever you say.
頑張れよタク
Let's go. What the fuck? Masumi-kun wasn't taking me seriously at all. He just got all excited over his own assumptions and slapped my back even harder than before. At this point, he was just screwing with me. Maybe, maybe not, but it is funny. I can't deny.
安心しろってお前の女を寝取ったりしねえから
Nice. I don't think...
だからそういう関係じゃ。
ほらさっさと行けよ彼女お待ちかねみたいだぜ
Yeah, that part's true. Masumi-kun ordered me to move, so I stumbled over to Yua. Despite my best efforts, I hadn't been able to escape.
迎えに来たの迷惑でした？
いや。
Yes, you fucking are. God. I'm like smiling ear to ear. This, I don't know. It's hard for me to explain why I like this so much already, because we're so early on. But like, there's just something that's engaged me about this. It's just like, I really need to, once I get like everything situated and I actually get like consistent recording in, I actually get a little ahead of my videos, I gotta play the hell out of this game. I turned to look at Masumi-kun, but he just grinned and gave me the finger. Honestly, I couldn't tell whether he was trying to pick a fight or cheer me on. It's his way of cheering you on, but, you know. Also, like, bro, I'm supposed to get all the babes. What the hell, man? I couldn't deal with this shit any longer, so I decided to just hurry up and leave with Yua. Alright, let's cook. What do we got?
すいません。昨日会ったばかりなのに、こんなお願いをしてしまって。
いや。
I was so nervous. I was leaving school together with a 3D girl. Was I a normie now or what? I'd always felt like this was all in a completely different world from mine. Yeah, obviously a normie. People who find happiness and fulfillment in the real world. That's hilarious. Markers of a normie include having lots of friends, having a girlfriend or boyfriend, participating in club and or school activities, going to parties, etc. Sure. I never would have thought I'd get to experience something like this. But now I was feeling the intense pressure of Yua's silence. We were just walking side by side, not even talking, so why was this so stressful? And to top it all off, I didn't really know who Yua was or what her goal was, so what did she want from an otaku freak like me?
おとといのはい
いや
He wasn't prepared for her to say something. She started talking to me out of nowhere, so I got surprised, and that weird sound I'd made just came out. Yua also seemed really nervous. Her expression was so tense. She was older than me, so how was she still so innocent? How surprisingly moe. Then again, I probably wasn't the best person to be talking about innocence, since I could hardly manage more than a quick sidelong glance at her. I was too embarrassed to take a proper look at her face. I just couldn't do it. I mean, there's different types of innocence, right? Like, in some ways, Takumi is completely, like, it's all gone, and in some ways, he's actually really innocent.
おとといのブラチュー見ましたよね。私一箇所だけいまいちよくわからないところがあったんですけど、すすぶくんがセイラちゃんのピンチに駆けつけてきて助けてくれますよね。でもどうしてすすむくんはセイラちゃんが危ないって分かったのかなって。
あれは先週の回に伏線があったんだ。セイラの携帯が鳴ってるシーンが一瞬だけ挿入されてて、着信表示で進むの名前が出てる。
そういえばそんなシーンありましたね。
山田君はそういう細かい伏線をあちこちに貼るのが好きなんだ。キンゴルでも似たようなことをやってた。
Gold goal。
山田君？キンゴル？
いや、山田君っていうのはブラチューの監督の愛称だよ。で、山田君がブラチューの前に監督やってたアニメがキンゴル。
へえ。じゃあ山田さんって有名な監督さんなんですね。
まあ僕は好きな方かな。なんでかっていうと。
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, we're not even gonna get into it. Oh, it's Animite. Yeah, we talked about Animite. Yeah. What am I seeing in the background? Far left. What is... That looks weird. I can't tell how weird it actually is, but it looks weird. I'd been lecturing Yua about the various facets of anime when I realized we were already in front of Animite. Time flew by way faster than I'd expected. I'd let myself get carried away and talked way too much. Well, it didn't help that Yua was such a good listener. She paid such close attention while I shared my wisdom. I couldn't help but want to tell her everything I knew, even though I knew I was falling right into her trap. Oh my god, never ends. All this, and yet I wasn't even good at talking. This was the first time I'd ever felt this way. I was talking out loud, but it felt like I was chatting online. It was a strange feeling.
なんだかドキドキしてきました。先に帰ったりしないでくださいね。
Okay. Yua only got more and more nervous as she went up and spoke to the store employee. It was clear that she was out of her comfort zone, but all I could do was just stand there and watch as she placed the pre-order for the post-awakening version Sarah figure. There weren't any opportunities to escape. Yua kept anxiously glancing back at me, so I couldn't budge an inch. Right after that, she even forced me to look around the store with her. Yua was looking all around with a big grin on her face, saying things like, wow, there's not enough money in the world to buy all these figures. But even in the face of all that enthusiasm, I just couldn't find it in me to smile back at her. Oh, McDonald's. So apparently Yua took the train to school, which meant I had to accompany her all the way to Shinsen Station. She might not look like it, but she was a devious one, all right. She always managed to get her way, all without making herself look even remotely selfish. See, this is one moment where I actually agree with him. Like, she's actually low-key kind of good at that. Clever girl. Talk about a wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. I do get that vibe. an archetype that refers to someone who is far more sinister than they may appear. They are often characterized by a black heart plagued with malicious thoughts, a large gap between their outward personality and actual personality, and a general sense of ill will toward others. It appears that there are some people who are attracted to these factors that are, for all intents and purposes, negative. Yeah, it's ironic. That's not... See, by this description, I would almost describe Takumi as a wolf in sheep's clothing, but that's not how I would describe Takumi, because it's like... There's no, like, sense of an actual threat. Like, Takumi is in no sense an actual threat. Whereas this girl might be. Hard to tell.
西条くんって携帯は持ってないんですか?
Ah, and this comes back up. Once we'd reached the station, Yua suddenly asked me that question. She wants our number. Cell phone? I shook my head weakly.
持ってないんですか。それじゃ連絡が取れないですね。
連絡?
The timing is crazy. Why the hell would she want to stay in touch? What, was she gonna demand that I text her about every little thing for the rest of my life?
でも西条くんパソコン持ってましたよね。私も持ってるからメールアドレスを交換しませんか？
どうして？
そのフィギュアの発売日に取りに行かなくちゃいけませんよね。
Damn, she's cute. She's smart though. Like, oh, she's good.
その時にまた一緒に。まだ一人でアニメ8に行く勇気はないから。
She was good. She is good, bro.
それに
Now flip it into the I want to hang out with you more. She was way too good. She really is.
私西条くんと
I knew she had her claws in me, but I just couldn't turn her down. If I did, I'd look like the bad guy.
もっと
Moto. 3D was the scariest fucking thing in the world.
仲良くなりたいから。
Aw. How was she doing this? Was it just because I was bad at talking to people, or was she just too good? I think both can be true. Either way, Yua seemed intent on not leaving until she had my email. Yet at the same time, I could sense a bit of unease behind those glasses of hers. I could practically feel my will to resist draining from my body. There were goosebumps all over my body, shivers running down my spine, but I couldn't run away and I couldn't turn her down. There was definitely something up with Yua. This aura she had, it wasn't normal. I couldn't really put into words exactly what it was that bothered me so much, but whatever it was, something wasn't right. Before I knew it, I'd torn out a scrap of notebook paper, written down my email address, and handed it to her. She took it, looking happy as can be, and then quickly bowed her head and disappeared into the station. It felt like my soul had left my body. I just stood there, completely dumbfounded. Even after 10 minutes passed, I couldn't move an inch. Oh, here we go. So, what do you make of all this, of her talking to, Grim? Because personally, I don't have the slightest clue. There is no way she doesn't have ulterior motives or something. Doesn't make any sense otherwise. Hey, you listening, Grim? Yeah. What eroge is this? That night, I decided to consult Grim about Yua. I figured I might as well. If I just kept my paranoia to myself, I wouldn't get anywhere. And that was the response I'd gotten. Well, not like I could blame him. The first time I'd spoken with Yua, I reacted the exact same way. It was stupid of me to think that you'd be any help, Grim. Now, wait one fucking second. You were being serious? You actually managed to raise a flag with someone? You really have a way of getting whatever you want, huh? Lol. Now, who said they weren't into 3D again? Mao. It's not like that, dude. Grim's reaction was almost identical to Mizumi-kun's. Were they the same person or something? It's possible. Well, for a turbo version like you, Neidhardt. Now that you have a girl, it should be easy to leave otakudom behind and lose your V card. Gotta be careful though. Like if you start talking to her about your school swimsuit fetish, she'll dump your ass. So use common sense. What's wrong with the school swimsuit fetish? This guy's... Oh, this guy's hopeless. I better do something quick. And also, you've got mail, you big dum-dum. I assume that was Sarah's voice. Oh, out of nowhere, I heard Seraton's voice. That was my custom email notification sound. I'm assuming this is going to be, our girl. Right on cue, Yua. Casually went to check my email, and the sender's name was... Kusunoki Yua.
うわ、早速来た。
I got an email. Just now. Well, there it is! This was the first time I'd ever gotten an email from a 3D girl. I gulped, then clicked to open it. Why do I feel like I'm just gonna see whose eyes are those eyes? Ah, okay. It's actually a regular email. Yua's usual elegance and purity shone through the email, and by using a lot of emoticons, she gave it a bit of a friendly tone too. Good evening, this is Kusunoki. I sent this email as soon as I was able to. I would appreciate it if you added me to your address book. My apologies for making you accompany me today. I'm sorry. Sorry, even so, I still had a lot of fun. Perhaps because it was my first time going to a store like that. Or maybe it was because Nishijo-kun was with me? Lol. What time will you be coming into school tomorrow, Nishijo-kun? Oh, I'm only asking because I was hoping I'd be able to say hello tomorrow morning, that's all. It would be nice if we could run into each other again tomorrow. Well, I'll be sure to email you again soon. Good night. But when she said things like maybe it was because Nishijo-kun was with me, or I was hoping I'd be able to say hello tomorrow morning, I just couldn't help but feel like she was up to something. Post it now is crazy. It's tame. Chill the fuck out. Just usual greetings and shit. Whatever, bro. Just post it. Post it already. Hello? Good evening. This is blank. I sent this email as soon as I was able to. I would appreciate it if you added me to your address book. My apologies for making you a company today. I'm sorry. Even so, I still had a lot of fun. Perhaps because it was my first time going to a store like that, or maybe it was because blank Kun was with me, lol. What time will you be coming into school tomorrow, blank Kun? Oh, I'm only asking because I was hoping I'd be able to say hello tomorrow morning, that's all. It would be nice if we could run into each other again tomorrow. Well then, I'll be sure to email you again soon. Good night. Grim wouldn't stop pestering me, so I just gave up and posted the entire email, though I did censor mine Yua's personal information, at least. Oh ho ho! Would you look at that lovey-dovey email? Kill yourself, Neidhardt, you normie scum. Yes! I love it. Please take this seriously. This must be some kind of trap. Yeah, how tight that tinfoil hat you got on. You sure you're not overthinking it? It looks like you raised a flag with this chick to me. You're almost at the good end already. That's what I mean. There's no way this is real. You think this could happen to an otaku freak like me? There's no way. You think a cute girl would try to pick me up, IRL? Dude, lol, are you seriously complimenting your girlfriend already? Yeah, he did say cute girl. Could you quit trolling for 1 second? Come on, I already told you, you're just overthinking it. We're two of a kind, aren't we, Neidhardt? We both know good girls like that don't exist anymore. Yeah, I was fully aware, but she really was just that nice, and that's exactly what didn't feel right to me. Yeah, he hasn't come up with the idea, what if it's all a delusion, but obviously, I guess Daisuke reacted to it, so, still. Well, maybe her stalking shit went a bit too far, but that's kind of hot, don't you think, lol? It means she really likes you. And you said she likes anime, too? Yeah, no way such a perfect girlfriend exists, bro. Not for us otaku, anyway, Lamau. Just don't go ruining her with your degenerate shit. Well, that might not be so bad. No, scratch that. That was exactly what I wanted. Excuse me? Where is this going? Still, cheer up a bit. She made the first move, bro. I'm not into 3D. You say that, but we both know you really want to go out with her, am I right?
そうだけど。
If you want to de-otakify yourself, now's your chance, lol. You won't get a second one and you know it. Dude, I love Grimm. Dude, I am like so curious as to who Grimm's gonna end up being. I'm actually taking a little note about Grimm. Congrats, you're popular now. Won't last long, so don't let it go to waste. Just keep calm and go on the attack. Just be Neidhardt IRL. You could do it. You got the green light, bro. I could just do it. I wouldn't be going through so much turmoil. Like, I'd realized something when I was talking with Yua the other day. Sure, there were a couple of moments where I had fun or felt happy, but aside from that, I just felt annoyed and completely exhausted. If that was what I had to go through with every IRL interaction, then I'd honestly rather just live in the 2D world where I could do whatever I wanted. And that was why I decided not to reply to Yua's email. Oh? Oh? That was an interesting transition. A fire burned bright into the sky. Scorching red cinders danced around the incinerator. The flame was fueled by a sailor-style school uniform along with countless textbooks. On a foothill overlooking the Seto Inland Sea, a girl stood in her home's garden. The steam whistles of boats echoed in the distance, and the nearby trees gently swayed in the refreshing sea breeze. New character? I don't think that's Pink. In the midst of such a serene scene, the girl, Orihara Kozui, okay, the names are coming down, stood still and alone in front of the incinerator, bathing in the somber ambiance of its cinders. Very poetic. It's interesting, right? Because, like the writing is very poetic, but because a lot of it's through the lens of Takumi, you don't get a lot of that. But when, like, you get stuff like this, it's, like, very obviously poetic. Kozui, huh? The girl's gaze was locked onto the school uniform and textbooks as they were slowly reduced to ashes, each becoming clad in a crimson glimmer. Until only yesterday, they had been her school uniform and her textbooks. Despite having lit the fire herself, the girl did not move from the spot, perhaps out of a lingering sense of regret. That, too, lasted only a moment. She suddenly knitted her eyebrows and covered her ears as hard as she could. This is interesting, because we're getting... I think this is kind of the introduction, kind of like, what was it, FES? I think it was FES, but the blue-haired girl, like, that was an little interlude introduction for that character, and we still haven't met them. And now we're getting another one for this Kozui character. Covered her ears, knitted her eyebrows, and covered her ears as hard as she could. Interesting. She gasped in agony, and yet she did nothing more. The girl did not moan, nor did she raise any tearful complaints. All she let out was a series of ragged breaths. She shook her head repeatedly from side to side, as if to express a fierce, visceral objection. And as she did, her strength slowly started to crumble, and she collapsed to the ground. She fell on her backside with a thud, let her jaw droop as if utterly exhausted, and looked up to the sky with a dazed expression on her face. Minutes later, she was still in that exact same position, not having moved a single muscle. Until suddenly, she turned around with conviction, as if she had heard someone call out to her. She looked toward the house's porch. The wooden house had been built over 50 years ago, so despite it being daytime, it appeared quite dim. Anything beyond the porch could barely be seen. Kozui slowly stood back up and walked over to the porch, and at that very moment, her mother appeared with impeccable timing.
あら、梢ちゃん、探してたのよ。もう荷物の整理はできたの？
Interesting. Kozue promptly nodded and slowly sat down.
あさってにはもうこの家ともお別れなのね。
I wonder if she's going to be enrolling in Suimei Academy. Her mother took a seat next to her, gazing toward the inland sea with a gentle look in her eye.
東京なんて行くの、梢ちゃんは初めてよね。
Yeah, she's definitely going to Suimei Academy.
いいお友達ができるといいわね。
Despite her mother's caring words, Kozui did not nod, nor even shake her head in response. She simply remained silent, gazing wistfully toward the still burning incinerator in the corner of the garden. Interesting. So, I think that's a good place to end it, because we kind of did the same thing last time, where we, what's it called? We kind of did the same thing last time, where we ended on, like that, like I said, we ended on the introduction of, again, I'm pretty sure it was FES, and now we got the same thing with, what does lock data even mean? I don't even know what that means. Huh. But yeah, no, yeah, that was really fun. I really enjoyed that, and, yeah, I'm really excited to see, what else we get up to in the next episode, which probably won't be for a long time, because I wasn't planning to do another episode. Well, I was planning to hopefully get more recorded, but I wasn't planning on posting another episode of ChäoS Head Noah until after, for a while. Probably until I had finished Danganronpa 3, because that's, like, loosely probably where this is going to slot in. Because all these series that I've been starting to work around the fact that I have to post every day in July are all coming up relatively soon. This was the one exception where I had started this, and it was something that I was thinking about playing in the background and kind of building up, and now it's out there, so we're gonna actually do it. So it's, like I said, probably gonna be taking the place of Danganronpa 3 when I finish the anime of that. But yeah, because all that stuff that I've recently started is coming up soon. Like Fruits Basket, super soon. You know, Hilda, pretty soon. If anything, ChäoS Head will probably be the one that takes the longest of the three to actually get, like, fully started. But I guess it works out because you guys got an extra episode. This episode's a bit shorter than the first one, so I didn't want to go too long, but I figured we could get this in, and it would be fun to play some more ChäoS Head. I'm really enjoying the game, so I definitely want to keep playing it. So I will definitely, like I said, once things chill down and hopefully I start getting a little ahead of my videos and stuff, I will absolutely look to start posting more and, you know, get everything situated the way I want to moving forward. So, yeah, that's definitely the plan. And I'm really excited to just keep going with this game. And like I said, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to dive deeper, because there's something about it that's really compelled me from the outset. And, like, obviously, like, the intrigue is cool, and I, especially with my, one of the things I like, it's hard to explain. I really like the slow burn in the context of a visual novel. Like, the way, like, visual novels are written, I can really appreciate, like, the slow burn of the storytelling and the narrative, and it just works for me. And that's something that, like, that works for me here in ChäoS Head. In the same way that I think, like, Fate Stay Night, like, in a similar vein, like, I just can get behind that. I feel that way about ChäoS Head Noah, where it's like the slow burn just works, right? And I think that's something that I really enjoy about it, and it's something that I'm really excited to dive into. And I feel like this story is gonna really grip me only more and more as we get deeper in, and it's been really fun so far. You know, like I said, we're probably, I think the first episode was about 3 hours. This one's gonna be maybe like 2.5 or something. This one wasn't as long, and I didn't know how long I would go. I just kind of figured I'd go for a good stopping point. I wasn't worried about hitting, like, a specific, like, time stamp or anything. Like, I was just kind of thinking, like, yeah, we'll go until it feels right. And I could go longer, but this just feels like the right spot to stop for now. And again, this isn't even our, like, regular, like, series episodes. It's always hard to judge with these type of games. Anyways, like, a good spot to stop. But yeah, I'm really excited to dive deeper into ChäoS Head Noah. I'm really enjoying the series so far. I think it's really interesting. Like, I'm enjoying Takumi's daily life and the internal struggles that come with it, and just all the craziness that's come along with that has been really fun for me. So if I, will this? No, it doesn't. Okay. No, it's been really fun though, so I'm definitely like really excited to dive further into what that's going to look like, and as things start happening involving new gen, as we get more new gen content, how that's going to affect all of this and all of these characters and that are going to be, because like we're very slowly introducing the cast. Like it feels like there's still a lot of the Chaos Head cast just to even come into play, right? Like we've only met Takumi, Daisuke, Nanami, Yua, and that's pretty much it. I mean, there was Kozui and FES who we like got little like teasers for, but neither of those characters have actually come into play in this game yet. Like neither of those characters are relevant yet in the context of, we've been given a like interlude introduction to those characters, but we haven't actually, like, Takumi hasn't met them. They haven't come into the story in any regard. We've kind of gotten, like I said, these little interlude introductions to them. And I think it's kind of cool how, like, we're kind of gradually getting these interlude introductions. Like I said, I ended up stopping, I think, the first episode on the one with FES. I'm, again, pretty sure it was FES. And this one with Kozui's. So I'm curious to see more of those as well, in addition to, just continuing Takumi's daily life. And it looked like we're jumping a week ahead and potentially to another interaction with Yua, or maybe something with his sister, or Daisuke, or maybe this is where we meet a new character. Maybe unlike FES, this just transitions straight into us meeting Kozui. Or maybe we meet FES. Or maybe we meet a character we haven't gotten an introduction for. Who knows? But whatever the case may be, I'm excited to see what happens next. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, without any further ado, it's time for me to bid you adieu. Flamin' Shark signing out. Hope you all have a wonderful, fantastical day, and I'll see you next time with another video as this dramatic piano finally finishes. Thanks for watching. Peace.